Now I start the event. Auto BattleBot for battle prompting? No, but that is something we can look into. I never said there was an announcement. I'm pretty sure I explicitly said there wasn't an announcement. But yes, the event has started. Welcome to Not Office Hours. Surprise guest, quite possibly. Wasn't this canceled? No, Office Hours was canceled. Not Office Hours was replacing it. It appears we have one of our special guests on stage, but muted.
Surprise!
Hello.
Hello. Hello, hello. Are we gonna have more special guests?
We could. If they would like to join.
Yes, I think they can just join if they want to.
Some of them can. Others will have to ping us if they want to come up.
You know who you are. If you want to be up here.
It's frantically.
I will take any questions, but they have to be cat related. Go. Meow? Meow meow. That's your answer. How's Lucy? She's currently sleeping and slightly annoyed that I'm talking right now. Her little ears like trained right on me. What's my favorite cat type? Lucy. Are Sphinx cats ugly or cute? I don't know. I feel like they're kind of both. You know what I mean? But that's like kind of all cats, to be honest. Oh, look, Zaf's here.
Hello. I'm not an expert on cats, but I do have a question.
You do have a what?
Question about cats. I'm very curious. So, how do you find cats that do not have the personality of cats? Is that because I know they exist, but I am very embarrassed to ask a shelter something like I want a dog, but like that's a cat, you know.
Oh,
You get them when they're very young and raise them with dogs.
that, and also certain breeds are better for that. Like Maine Coons, they're very well known to be very more dog-like. It doesn't guarantee they will always be like that because it's every cat has their own personality. But I will say every Maine Coon that I've come across has been like super friendly, super cuddly. Like my friend, she had 2 of them. They'd even play catch with her. So, but they're also very large. Say that. And very poofy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at Google Images and immediately, like, coming up with so many ways of collecting cat hair. This is a lot. They're so big as well. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're really cute.
I will also answer non-cat related questions.
Yes, that is also true.
They asked an interesting question, which is essentially communicating with animals through AI. They're saying through Midjourney, but I don't know if that's at all relevant to what Midjourney is doing. But like, I know that there's been some research in general for like looking into the minds of animals and people, and I don't know. So I think maybe the better question is like, if you could talk to cats, like how and why would you do it?
Spend probably way more time than I should thinking about what it must be like to be a cat and think like a cat. Because I think a lot about like, what is Lucy thinking right now? Like, what is her perspective right now? I feel like she actually understands a lot more than like people think that animals can understand. Because especially like when I'm like, hey, no, don't do that, and then she'll go meow and like gives me a look where she knows she's not allowed. Just like little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder if I feel like it must be something like, do you have any memories of when you were a kid, kind of like before you understood language fully?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that's possible. That's like when you were 1, right?
Yeah.
2, maybe.
I have like little glimpses of memories.
Mm.
Um, and I also have like a weird thing because I had like a stage when I was like 5 or 6 where I was thrown into German kindergarten without knowing any German. So that was also like non-language, but I did still have it in my head as English, right? But I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about.
Hello,
Hello.
it's Replicant.
Yes, it is. Someone asked, Stonesy asked, how's the weather? The weather is hell. Here
Apparently,
at
it's
least.
very
What?
quiet. Well, the rain, the eye hasn't come here yet, so I'm just waiting it out. The internet doesn't go down, but here I am.
Yeah, we've been getting some of the outer bands here, but right now it's clear and humid. Where do you submit your questions? In chat.
Out.
I guess you can use the form if you want to, but in chat.
It's so humid that we had to squeegee the front door so we could see outside. That's how humid it is outside.
It could have decent weather, but I went closer to it. I mean, yes, but I had things I needed to do down here. I did not choose this weather. Yes, there is no office hours today. This is explicitly not office hours.
It's very chill. We're not going to have a bunch of updates or anything like that. Just very casual. Getting to know you guys.
I mean, still an event. Talk to people,
Yeah.
answer questions.
Yeah, if you have questions, go for it.
Which version of Midjourney will be used to control the weather? Probably no. Version no.
I will say though that Midjourney does some killer clouds, and it like the clouds were really good even in version 2, and like the banner for Midjourney I think really sells that abstract things. Like AI is so good and that type of stuff. Just kill it.
Who's your favorite stand-up comedian? For their comedy or as a person?
George Carlin.
Comedy-wise, definitely George Carlin.
There you go. Of course you'd say that, Billicorn. And Louis C.K. is like, nah, on my radar.
Well, Robin Williams as a personality, yes, but I did not personally know him, so hard to say for sure. But if I knew him, probably.
Wait, personally, what do you mean by that? Like what?
Actually knowing as a person.
So you've met with, like, is this a revelation right now? Like, have you had dinner with these comedians? Do you know them?
Well, the one who I pinged for being in that, I know, yes. He's also here. But, like, actual stand-up comedians for their comedy alone, that's easily George Carlin. There was actually a period of time, like most of the time I was in high school, where I fell asleep to all of his albums and such on loop. So I have basically his entire set memorized.
Hedberg is another. I'd put him
Oh, yeah.
second.
Mitch Hedberg was amazing.
In fact, if I ever join voice chat and you're around, you will hear my join voice chat join sound is actually George Carlin.
George Carlin joke? Sure. One of my favorites of his was the expansion of the 7 words.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Like, favorite among those was when he was talking about tits. And it sounds like a snack. Which to some extent is true. But like new cheese tits. Just sounds like a snack food. And I don't have it fully memorized off the top of my head, recited or anything. She'll just TM me asking if she has to bonk me. No. But that is one of my thoughts whenever I have to bonk someone. It's just like,
Just like listening, like,
yeah.
hello? Hello?
My favorite's the classic 1985 Drawing on My Mind animated short written by George Carlin.
My favorite George Carlin is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Obviously.
Oh man, I'm showing my age now.
My mom loved those movies when I was younger, and she let me watch them when I was probably way too young to watch them. Like, looking back, honestly, I don't know how appropriate that was, but I loved it. I don't know. Second movie was kind of like not scary, but like I feel like I have like weird dreams about it as a child. So it was just like very dark. I don't know. Also, there's a question in here that I think, Derp asked that I have no idea how to answer. It says, question, using region vary, you can get V5 generations that are double the max resolution. You can, of V5 standard, but they have weird magazine type print overlay. Any insight? No, I don't have any insight, but this is very interesting.
What? Yeah, I'm
My
so
only
confused.
guess on that is if you're like varying max upscale from an older version and just like completely redoing it, which is just not something it's made for.
Oh,
Wow.
no, that will break it. Oh no. You do not want to do that. Yeah.
What do you mean break it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I cannot talk in any detail, but like we broke it while we were testing it, like before it was released. And if you make it do a higher region than it usually can, because it has a limit that V5 can generate, it just breaks, just does weird things.
Yeah, that's
So-
why it's not allowed on pens.
Yep.
Though, when we were testing it, it occasionally worked really well. I wish we could have released it, but it's a bit too buggy for people to be okay with it.
Yeah, and it could cost you a lot of minutes as well if you do it. So
Yeah.
don't do it. Or do it at your own risk. Yeah.
I have to sing, if not, you riot. Go ahead and riot.
Well,
I've heard him sing before.
You lie.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you are one of the people that have come the closest to hearing me sing.
I want to
Oh,
drag you to
God.
a karaoke bar, AC.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
at some point.
That'd be a special treat. And I'll promise to put my phone down, of course.
The problem is I have no clue what to sing. Because, like, all the things that I find myself singing regularly are not, like, karaoke songs.
Okay, well, now you have to tell us what songs you sing regularly.
Excuse me while I go through my playlist.
It's gonna be some weeb stuff, I'm sure.
Yes,
Call
as well as some other stuff.
What
What
powder,
kind
what
of pop-
what Neko Paro songs do you sing?
My favorite pop tune from the 2000s is the Numa Numa song. Actual banger. No one can convince me otherwise.
Like, the actual song is really good.
Yes, agreed.
And whenever I listen to it, I end up listening to it, like, on loop.
Yes,
And, of course, singing along to it.
and it still holds up to this day. I'll say that. Like, modern re-listenings to it, still just as good.
A few years ago, I came across a metal cover of it, and it was really good.
Oh,
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
War stories.
War stories. Well, I can tell you, not war story. I don't know if they're war stories, but like the other week when there were all these like bot issues for like almost a full day. That was fun. I don't know how much there is to tell though. To be honest, I'm
My
really
favorite.
I will say I'm continuously very impressed by the developers and just the engineers and just everybody working on it underneath the hood in general, because just in general, like even with any bugs, but even especially when things just like go wrong and things are just blowing up, they're just like so on top of it. They're just like snap, 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 let's go. And what makes it really good is that there are developers all over the world. So for the most part, if everybody else is sleeping, even if like literally everybody's sleeping, like there's been a time where it's like everybody's just unavailable because they're all asleep. But like by 3 a.m. my time, people out in London wake up. So it's really convenient in that sense.
Yeah. Like, there's almost always someone on, even when they shouldn't be. I've been yelled at a few times for being up at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Maybe so if you want a hard thing, what are the most difficult things that I've been trying for? Diogenes holding a featherless biped. A horse riding an astronaut.
Oh, has anybody been able to get an elephant on top of a hot air balloon yet? Like just standing on top of it?
That one should be doable within painting now.
Oh, yeah, true. True. Right.
Difficult prompt: a car with chicken legs instead of wheels. For that, I'd probably start by prompting for Baba Yaga's hut, and then change the hut to a car.
It's image without image prompts, or something similar.
Geometry. Yeah.
Has anyone ever figured out SpongeBob driving a truck? I'm pretty sure we got some really good stuff on that during V5 testing. I also just got a really good random SpongeBob when meme prompting a while back. Let's see if I can find that.
I have found weird things that I'm not able to do, but also I don't think anybody cares. For example, I'm trying to get like the top-down view of a very big fish, but like there is no functional way, because a fish seen from top down, if you image prompt it, it's interpreted as a fish on the side, because that's just the kind of knowledge Midjourney has, and if you try to tell it, that's not going to work, and there is no way of in-painting that in any way. So when you have something in a weird perspective, in general, it's so difficult. I have no idea.
If we can manage to make this go for 5 hours, you'll be home. You know us. We can if we try. Even without trying, we probably can. But I have a mild time limit today.
Mild.
Mild. Like, not a hard time limit or anything, but I'm staying with my parents and should probably spend some time with them.
Probably. Probably. This seems like a good idea.
I haven't checked lately, but early on V5 had some fascinatingly disturbing tubas. That just makes me think of a prompt we tried out when not safe for work testing with V5 that involved a trombone. Circuit, you remember that one, right?
He doesn't remember anything, apparently.
Or he's just muted. Hardware muted.
Oh, no.
Do you remember that one?
I wasn't listening.
It's gone.
V5 not safe for work testing early on with the trombone.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna give me flashbacks?
Yeah.
No.
I do remember that one myself. I'm trying.
Do you remember okay, so when V5 was released, I swear to God, I was up at like 8 a.m. and I did not go to bed or like leave my computer until like 3 a.m. and that day. And I remember we like that was a Wednesday, so there was office hours, and then like V5 got released, and then everything blew up. Right? Am I remembering this right? Like everything.
Yes, V5 release week was a lot.
Yeah. Then they had to take V5 out offline, and then like I watched as all of like the engineers, and then David left office hours to go and like, talk in their own meeting to like figure that out. So then it was me, AC, and some other guides and mods that were all like, let's keep the energy up. It's great. But then during the middle of all of that, I had to be like, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but we're gonna ban the word chest. Please don't be mad at me or mad at the mods or like take it out on us. But like we know this is bad. Like we know. And actually that was really helpful because I saw like online people were complaining about it and then other people would respond and be like, well, it's for these reasons they went over in office hours. So I was like, great. Like this helped negate some drama. But also like the fact that we even had to do that and that was a thing was like, oh my gosh, I think we were all just like screaming behind the scenes. It was so bad. But yeah, I'm so glad we don't have to deal with the banned words stuff anymore. Like, I know what the people are like, the AI moderator like is definitely not perfect, but it's like worlds better than the banned word system.
Is the trombone safe for work / office hours? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is extremely not safe for work in a hilarious way that I wish I could share but can't.
Oh, can you DM me that?
Yes,
wanna
we can
know.
hear you now.
Awesome.
Yep. If you haven't seen it, yes, I will share it with you.
I mean, I don't know if I might have, but I still don't know if I remember.
Actually, I'll just ping you where it is on Dev.
That works.
Get ready to record.
Sticking.
Oh my god. Oh my, I did miss this, but oh wow. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise, man. Okay, well, everybody else just guessed, but that was not what I was expecting.
Like, it is more extreme than you would ever expect for that. And, like, correct in the wrong ways.
Which one was this?
Oh man. Oh god, this entire channel. All right, I'm gonna stop talking right now.
Thanks, you got flustered.
Also, sorry, it was this one. Is it rusty? No, it is not. Would it scar people for life? Maybe, depending on what scars you. David is not here today.
Yeah. You need to put that picture on your wall. That is hilarious.
Yeah, there are definitely ways that the AI mod could still be improved.
David is okay, yes.
Yeah, he's fine. He's taking some time off.
Yes.
Slightly trolled by the mods right now.
But yeah, if there's like anything like that's like obviously like shouldn't be blocked, put it in the AI mods bugs channel.
How many office hours have we had? That's a good question. I don't know the answer, but it is several. You could probably scroll back through announcements and figure it out.
Well, no, that wouldn't be accurate because we've deleted a lot of those too. Remember?
Mm. But they have been roughly weekly, so there's only been 2 or 3 times that we haven't done proper office hours. Yeah. What's the coolest weird / fail thing you guys have generated during testing new versions that we can share? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I know what I can share. I was just sharing it with someone the other day. Oh, scroll. For just how bad or how good we have cleared the data set of the concept, this was the testing result for his penis.
My gosh. Thanks.
It's completely safe for work.
I just want to know if we get in trouble. I did not
I want to say right
work
now that
any of
this
this.
is not my prompt.
Leave me out.
It's not my prompt, and it's not to scale.
Sadly, it's a banana. It's always to scale.
Hey, F knuckle. See, I'm not entirely sure everybody can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
But she is muted, though. So.
You're very quiet for me. Yeah, you're just like a tiny little voice in the corner.
Sounds good to me, but I have you at max volume.
I'll fix
I can
that.
just right-click on them and turn the volume up.
Yeah, but then everybody has to do that.
Am I still quiet?
That's much better.
All right. There.
Oh, I have something I can share, I think, because we had a sentence that seemed to be blocked by the AI moderator, but it wasn't. And just I tested that sentence in a way that was very dumb. And here it is, the results. I mean, you can try to guess.
Glorious.
But it was a funky panky walking mount. I have no explanation.
So glorious. It reminds me of the dog in the bottom left reminds me of my Zero Space adventures. Let me see if I can share one of those.
Oh, I can share this one too. This was pasting the Amazon description for a 55-gallon drum of lube.
Oh my gosh.
Now we're judging you.
Judge away.
I'm gonna
Have to
have
try the weird things to make sure they're safe.
I'm gonna have to bonk all of you.
Hey, the result is safe. The result is safe. Would not be sharing it if it wasn't.
Stressed out. Stressed out right now. So everybody just all the time.
That whole conversation started because of an Amazon listing.
Yes, Stonesy was there for it.
I remember that one.
Okay, more questions. I need to be prompted.
/ imagine Fnuckle.
Yes, I was setting you up for that joke. You did it. What's Pingas? Pingas? Am I being trolled with that question?
Yes.
Is that even a question? What's never mind.
I have an image of a cat lady that I did when we were testing Zoom.
You also have another image that you could definitely can't share. So yes, chat questions. Do you think visual language can be for verbal and thus can be explored to gain depths of understand where written and verbal are limited?
Seems like a science question.
I think yes, but not in a way that's really easy to expand on. Like, if we're going on the concept of like how they've started doing MRI to image to get what people are actually thinking, in that sense, it might be possible, but collecting a data set on that makes sense would be difficult.
And
Well, like,
Tennyson, I got a
you're
tutorial for
asking
you.
about like visual language, like in humans, because like, wouldn't that like aren't most animals like don't they communicate mostly via body language? So that's visual language, right?
And noise. Lots of animals.
Noises, but like I don't know. It's kind of like, did the chicken come first or did the egg? You know, it's
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of go the other way around. We are a very, very visual animal. Like our eyes are extremely well developed compared to almost any animal ever. Like I think only octopuses and some weird animals like that have better eyes than we do. So in that sense, it would make sense that we mostly communicate visually, even if we are a verbal creature nowadays. So, because I mean, what comes first or second? I don't know. That's a very hard question to answer. But like,
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
I've been told
well,
that I
mean,
need to share these again. So
all right.
I think that's like a scientist question. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer. I don't think any of us really do. I feel like that's somebody much smarter than us that like studies this stuff, you know?
Yeah, but for example, you have like you work in a visual media, right, Fnackle? So, and I worked in a visual media as well, and it comes very obvious that like the language that people use is different. And of course, we're no experts, but like I think the experience that we can share can be interesting if you want to share.
Oh, like if you think about in terms of like in your lifetime, do you learn visual or verbal first? I don't know. That's a really I feel like they both kind of get developed at the same time. Like even though babies can't really actually speak, like they can understand a lot of things. I don't know.
yeah, but the understanding of the language comes with the understanding of the visual. Before they have the concepts, they have
Blind
the.
baby. What if you're a blind baby?
That's a completely different thing then.
Yeah, that usually goes with like tactile experience.
Yeah.
From my understanding, like the language is always secondary. You need a more raw, a more like intuitive basis to build language upon.
This is all above my head.
Point from show, ideographic and logographic writing systems, more picture-based, generally precede phonetic and syllabic writing systems.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the real answer.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenician in itself, from my understanding, is a very representative language where you hand literally, you know, fishes and cows and stuff like that later became letters.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, absolutely. And I was watching Peter Mobacher's lesson yesterday where he was using a type of brush that was very chaotic. It was kind of making the shape that he was drawing less predictable. And it is something that is an idea that has been bounced around before. But I'm really, really curious to see actually visually talented people that are not typing, they're not describing anything. They're just drawing, and then some sort of model just makes images off of what they're actually drawing. because in the translation of the text, I do believe that there's a lot of missed information. It's a lot of opportunity. Like sometimes you just come out with weird words and you have no idea what's going to happen, and you're pleasantly surprised that you never could have come up with that visually on your own. But if you are already visually talented, that's very, very interesting.
I will say, just like as a thought to that, and I'm being a little nitpicky, I apologize, but I know. But you can be visually talented, but like suck at drawing. And I feel like I feel like a lot of people conflate the two to be the same skill, where it's like, it's really not. I don't know.
No,
It's
you're right.
a whole,
You're right. You're perfectly right.
because so when I went to school, I went to art school. I went to my major was, well, it's called motion media, but it's really just motion graphics. So it's a thing. But there are people in that like my major weirdly was like super, like full of super talented people. Like it was like really well known program, and that school and just in general was like known throughout the world as being like really good for that.
Can confirm.
And there were a lot of people who could not like draw a straight line to save their life, but their work they created was like amazing. Like it was just, on another level good. I just it's not a bad thing. I just sometimes get a little just like, you can be good at art and not be good at drawing, like don't forget.
Yeah, and in that context, I mean, I want to actually riff off of what you just said, because that's also something that I'm very much looking forward to. Like, yes, the drawing part is very interesting because it's probably going to look super cool. But also, like, you have someone who understands the visual language very well and doesn't know how to draw, but like they can feed images in a certain way where the model, we talked about this before as well, where it's like, the composition, the colors, the subjects and whatever, like taken from different images or different kind of directions. So at this time there is so much text-based input, and you can use image prompts, but to me at least it feels very primitive. It's like, if you are very visually talented in many different ways, as you just said, because of course you are very limited, like you're kind of just stumbling around.
I think it depends too, though. I think it depends on how prompt. Because if you're trying to prompt for something very, like if you have a very specific image in your head of like, I want this composition to look like this, I want this object to look like this, you're going to have a harder time doing that. And that's what most people in prompt chat like are there to help you with. And that's what I feel like that's what like most people I've seen that prompt are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also like, there's a second kind of prompter. I'm more in the second boat usually and go back and forth. But the second kind of prompter I've noticed tends to be more exploratory. Like they're looking more for like vibes. I do that a lot, where I'm just like, I want to throw words at this and like see what comes out and see if anything cool pops up. That's why I'm like a big fan of multi-prompts, because I love just like taking a random prompt, putting it in, putting a multi-prompt in, and then like taking a different random prompt and just seeing what happens. And you can get some really weird, cool stuff that way. But if I was trying to get something specific, I'd probably be pretty frustrated,
Yeah, that's what I do. I like to break things and make weird stuff.
Like when I'm prompting, I usually go for a general idea and here are concepts I want in it, then find something and work around that to make it what I want.
But like, even in the art world, like that's kind of a more experimental and not as common approach to making things. And I'll tell you about that a little bit, because even when you're doing motion graphic stuff, you you do style frames, or you have like a plan or script, or you have here's what it's going to look like at the end, or here's an idea of what it'll look like. When you're doing illustrations, you're taught, beforehand to do thumbnails so you can like work out the composition and work out details before you go and do the full thing. And I'm an artist outside of anything AI related. And when I've done my art, I've developed this kind of experimental approach to things where it's like, I'll just take a video or a picture of some sort, and I'll just smash it against the wall, where I'll use like iOS or Android apps on it. I'll put it into After Effects, and I'll put plugins on top of it. I like found code in GitHub, like scripts to run through, and just do all these like weird things, essentially just like doing my own remixing of stuff. And people have approached me and they're like, oh, can you do this thing? Can you do this effect on for my video or for whatever project they have? And I'm like, listen, to an extent, yes, like there's some things, like some techniques that I can absolutely like reproduce. But also, like, if you're looking for something very specific, I'm not necessarily like the expert on knowing how to do that very specific thing, because the way I do things, I just again, like I just throw things at the wall. I just, I do the different iterations like that. And like, people can't hire me for that. It's kind of frustrating, because I can't give them like a good idea or like a good promise of what this is going to be. So actually for me, when people approach, I've usually, whenever I've done like little, music stuff or music video stuff, it's like, usually it's like, okay, my deal is I'll do this, but like, and usually it's for free just because it's a fun, I haven't done it in a long time. But, I'll do this, but you kind of just, you get what you get, which, a lot of people aren't going to be in. Well, that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's not how you're supposed to do it. So, I don't know. I think it's how that mirrors a little bit where it's like, oh, you can do all these really cool things, but like, you're not going to like, you can't necessarily plan for those cool things,
Well, I think there is a truth for both methods, though, because your method is absolutely great. Like, it is something I love doing myself. I'm a great improviser, and I feel like that's what Midjourney is best at as well, like just throwing things at the wall, seeing what works. And what I'm saying is that, like, since Midjourney is great on that, it attracts those kinds of people, and they stick around, they use the tool, they enjoy it, they make the coolest things. But I think that we've kind of creating a very soft echo chamber, creative echo chamber, where like all the explorers are having the greatest time of their lives, and then you have all the planners that are just coming in every once in a while and going, I can't use this. What?
Right.
I understand it's cool, but I can't use this. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't wait for those people to come around as well and have a great time.
Well, thankfully, things like in painting has helped a lot.
Yeah,
with that.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, and as these models and systems, get better and grow up a little bit, this should be more controllable in that sense too. But yeah, I totally understand why people get frustrated.
I mean, it is personally something I enjoy doing in many other ways as well, because you can kind of bring it towards other media. For example, when let's say I'm working on a character, like I'm writing a character, and the moment I tell Midjourney the description of the character, and then that comes with a visual that it surprises me and gives me more inspiration about what I can write about that character. So there's so many different kinds of explorations that you can do. And I do think we've even only just scratched the surface of what we can do with the models that we have and with the tools that are available. So yeah, like maybe technology just stopped here, like also the people that wanted to do the other things would find ways of doing them anyway. Because humans are just, smart like that. I'm seeing a lot of, prompt chat wizards doing things that I could never have dreamed myself. So, yeah.
People are crazy. Like when In Painting was first released, and like I go into 25K and to see people, already having all these different processes and just like, oh yeah, you can do this with this, and I was like, wow, like just the ways that people will find to use these tools, like so quickly too. It's really impressive to me. I have a question for the community, actually, not to change the subject a little bit, but I posted in the internal server that this was going on, and one of the devs asked, he said, I'd appreciate if we could ask people about what the hardest part for them of signing up for Midjourney and getting started was. So, yeah.
Discord. Yeah.
That's both laughing so hard because yes.
Yeah.
So funny little story. We've been going our like getting started channel, like not to call it don't get me in trouble. But like our getting started channel is so outdated, and it's just been this whole thing where we've just been trying to get it to be updated, and then that led to more conversation. And I think the other day we had like three people like taking videos of them trying to go through the process, like signing up for Midjourney, but like you have to like sign up Discord account first, and then just like taking videos of that, and then just like everybody just like screaming.
Yeah, we're trying to simplify the flow as much as possible, and
Yeah,
knowing the pain points everyone has will be helpful in minimizing them.
it's so bad right now. Yeah. Had a really hard time finding out where the gaps were in my language to talk about aesthetics and art. Yeah, that's valid. That's a big one.
Yeah, I
Or
would
any
say,
Back in the day, when I think it was like outdated by the time that I first hopped in the server, but there was this command you could run, and it would give you like random prompts to try. Like I think it was called idea or ideas. They weren't very good prompts, but when I first started, I enjoyed that. And maybe like you could do that now with Describe, but that's kind of a hurdle in itself because you have to like know that exists, right? So
yeah, and also Describe is good, but it's not as, as creative as the actual vocabulary that you end up using once you're familiar with the tool. It is kind of restrictive in some ways, which, I mean, it's one of the very first iterations.
somebody said a kind of brainstorming version of Describe would be awesome. I got Chat GPT to, because I know there's like a billion ways you can like ask Chat GPT to make prompts for you, but I put in some of my weirder describes, and I basically was like, make me this, but like here's some examples, and then I like listed the describes out. And I had to go through a couple iterations of that first because like a lot of it was just like really boring, but essentially what I ended up telling it was like, make it more niche and weird, kind of like Tumblr aesthetics. That worked. And then to make it weirder, I was like, okay, now do this, but make these descriptions, like make the words within these descriptions unrelated to each other. And that made some really interesting stuff. I don't know if anybody's interested. I could probably just share
Unrelated.
that chat.
So you made GPT give you words that are not related to each other, so as diverse as possible.
Yeah, it's it's ChatGPT. I mean, it was pretty good about that, but it's still ChatGPT. But I got some really I got some actually like solid results from it. Here, let me I gotta find it. Give me a second. I still use it though. I made the mistake. I tried to get it to do some like very specific like early 2000s aesthetic stuff, and then it became like too like quirky random. Like it was just a little bit too much. And so now I'm trying to reel it back. So I'm like, how do I get back to earlier in the conversation? Because that was so good.
Also, for finding weird stuff through GPT, if you can use the API version, it's much cheaper than ChatGPT subscription, and you can set the temperature really high and get wild stuff.
Yeah, I have to think to do that though. So I say use my brain. So I don't know.
I meant that as a general thing, not just you. Playground, yes.
I generally use my brain pretty often. It's fine.
What's a good high temperature? I don't know. Try it out and see which one works best for you. There's quite a range. You still get surprised by any of the images and or prompts that you encounter? Yes.
I mean, if you want to get
30 degrees
surprised,
Celsius is a good temperature. No, it's not. That is a horrible temperature.
yeah, that's a horrible temperature for your body and for your environment. But that's just bad all around. Your food, like nothing is good at 30 degrees Celsius. No, body temperature is like 37. That's blue. Your American is showing. What are you doing? But yeah, like if you want to be surprised, lower the stylize, up the weird, go to town and like play around with chaos and weird and stylize. Like just do that, and there is non-stop entertainment. Trust me. The bad part though is to have things that are so random is that sometimes I get a really, really good image that just is incredible and has nothing to do with the prompt at all, and I cannot replicate it in any other way. So I have this kind of like very fragile, like alien result, which makes it all the more special in a way, but also kind of unfortunate because, of course, the scribe is still not able to reverse engineer that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean that's how I remember getting some results before in painting. They were kind of impossible.
I got the link. It's an older link because I shared it before. So it doesn't have the rest of me screwing it up, which is probably a good thing. But the last like 2 lists on this link I'm posting right now. It's a good example. Some good stuff. It's like a pastel sketch of a roaring 1920s jazz band in the style of Hubble space imagery. I did run that one and it wasn't very good, but there's some of them in here that are like really fun.
84 there right now, and you're curled up in your office with a hoodie and cat for warmth. I wish I had that problem. I wish I could be the kind of person that's always cold.
If I was like that, I'd be extremely grumpy, more than usual.
Well, the thing is, you can always put on more layers. You
That's
can
right.
only get so naked when it's hot.
Yeah, or an offense and get arrested.
That too.
Also, you can get more used to heat though. I've been through that.
No.
No,
No.
Yes.
I lived down here for years.
Yeah.
I endured hell.
I live in Georgia. I know. It
And
takes
my-
special people to get used to it. I'm not one of those people.
My roommate would there's this whole thing, but my roommate would leave he would like turn up the temperature to like 85, 90 something. Like he'd turn it off some days when he'd leave for work when I was like still in the house. In the South in Savannah, Georgia in the summer.
It's kind of like I live there.
Yeah, I know.
Sucks.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I adapted. It wasn't very fun, but it was possible. I learned to sleep without a blanket. Like, that was a thing.
What are you talking about? Like, do people sleep with blankets during the summer? What's happening?
A lot of people need blankets. A lot of people need like the pressure of a blanket on their body to like sleep. That's a thing.
Yeah, you're gonna die. Like if you go, like I don't know. I'm too Mediterranean for this conversation. Like it's
A lot of Europe doesn't have AC, right? Like
yeah, I don't have AC.
And confirm I'm not in Europe.
Yeah, really.
Sadly, yeah, no.
well, that's the thing though, because I lived in the South for like almost 5 years, and then I came to Chicago for my first, like crappy job that doesn't pay you enough. And I, in the South, it's like a pretty safe assumption that like everywhere has AC because, you kind of die without it. It's like that. So I thought my first apartment here in Chicago would have AC. No, it did not. And I could not afford to get a window unit at the time. I probably should have just asked my parents, but I was like, it's my first time out on my own. I was very stubborn. But yeah, that I lived on the top floor of a 3-story, and I had 4 giant windows that faced the sun in the morning. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how I got through that summer, but it was a thing. Sheesh.
Well, one, in Chicago, you probably could have asked your landlord for it and they would have got it for you because there are regulations about that.
They were
But
not that kind of landlord. They had like I think it was like a year later somebody came over and was like, is the number on your door just like stenciled in with Sharpie? I was like, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Alright.
Cherry Blossom asks if we have any tips for getting cutesy, cartoony styled stuff that aren't obvious. Niji cute is probably the easiest way. It really depends on the kind of cute you want.
Yeah, it depends on the cute level.
I always find that Midjourney is really good at kawaii. It's a very specific type of cute, but you can mix it with other stuff, and it really does some incredible things. Like even in older versions, like V3, if you try like kawaii Cthulhu, kawaii zombie, it was great.
Kawaii, chibi, etc.
Chibi style.
80s, 90s Western animation. And I tell us in detail why ranking is an essential part of progress. Not without revealing too much.
I think I can.
We can explain a bit, but I'm not sure how much we can fully say without, NDA.
I think I can tell. I think I can tell. Like not super detailed, but still interesting. I don't know. Should I try?
If you want to. How do you
Okay.
pronounce fnuckle? I pronounce it fnuckle,
It's just
and that's the correct way of pronouncing it. Everyone else says it wrong.
all right. Here's my very like kosher explanation. So there's like different parts to the process of like making a new model. So you have the training, which is where it's like the computer's actually baking it. And then you have the tuning, which is where engineers and people are basically just going into the model after he's trained and tweaking things. They have a whole bunch of knobs of different stuff to try. And part of that is they will take like in a very, very like large, like just larger, level, they will take stuff from rankings, I'm sorry. And they'll kind of they'll just put it in actually I don't know how much, but they'll just kind of pour it in a little bit with the rest of it, all the other stuff that they do on top of it. So it is part of the process of making that Midjourney magic. And that's my explanation. I think that yes, safe. I've explained it to people like that before, so I think that works. Is it used for fine tuning? To an extent. Like I wouldn't say I'd say it's a part of it. I don't actually know any like specifics past that, but it's a part of the process. But there's a lot of different parts to the process. Right?
Okay, we've got feedback from internal. We're reporting back that everyone just said Discord. They would like some more specifics. Is it hard to sign up? Is it challenging to use Discord? Is it challenging to use Midjourney? Which happens to run through / commands on Discord, etc.?
Yeah, there were a few detailed responses. I think we kind of glossed over them because they were going pretty fast. So
Yeah.
We could always find them later and collect them.
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much just land in an empty chat box and don't really know what you can do unless you go out of your way to find out, which is a big hurdle for a lot of people. Yeah, I agree with that. And so we have all this like stuff built. Like we have like our official docs. There's like the prompt facts. We have the support channel. We have like prompt chat, which is not like officially support for prompt, but like it a lot of people are in there constantly helping answer questions. And then you have a lot of information scattered throughout the internet. And part of the problem with that is that like a lot of it's just like not always accurate. And then you have like AI influencers who, like half the time they're correct, the other half the time it's like, okay, this is the way they'll word it, and is like kind of weird, I guess, the best way to say it, where it's like, this is not like a built-in feature or like a built-in solution. Like I think there was like something going around a while ago, like last week, that was like, do you remember what I'm talking about, AC, where it was like, I forget what they were trying to do, but it was just how they were prompting things, but they like made it seem like it was like an official feature. of Midjourney. So there's just like a lot of
Oh
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone was saying had like layer control or something, and
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
just
Oh,
specifying
yeah.
what the background was in their prompt, basically.
Yeah, but it was just like the prompt,
Yeah.
and it wasn't right. So that's the big thing, is that there's a lot of conflicting information out there. There's like people trying to sell it to you, and like sometimes just making stuff up, you know. So and then there's the balance with our documentation, where we want our documentation to be as helpful as possible, but also understandable as possible. You know what I mean? So it's like the balance between being too prescriptive, which can sometimes get confusing and overwhelming, and the other way around of whatever I just said is. I'm rambling a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I want to add something, because people are rightfully suggesting, oh, why don't you do like a YouTube channel? Why don't you have videos? And one of the issues that I've seen come up is that text, really easy to update. Screenshots, just change the image with the correct command and everything that's updated. Done. Easy peasy. Videos, not so easy. So since Midjourney changes quite a bit, like for example, there's a lot of influencers or content creators out there which do great videos. They are absolutely stellar, and they become outdated in like a month. So, and you still see them top of results there. Like, it's not their fault. They're trying their best. But genuinely, it's very difficult to do visually compelling videos that also need to be updated constantly.
Yeah.
And we also have language barriers too, right? Like,
Yeah.
So Midjourney side, we technically only support English, and we've done that because it's like that's a lot of, like, we're already having to constantly update stuff, right? For English, like having to do that for like other languages. So, oh my goodness. But there are a lot of people who come to Midjourney who's like English isn't their first language, and there's already the barrier of Discord, but also the barrier of language on top of that, and it's just like, it's such a thing. It is such a thing for sure.
Yeah, you can translate a web page much more easily than you can translate a video, of course. So, like, yes, there are captions and such, but it doesn't work as well.
I will say too, when you're first starting out, like I don't think you necessarily need to be, get into all these advanced features. I didn't even try wrapping my brain around like weights or multi-prompts or any of that to like several months in. I was like, let me just do my own thing for a while, and if I ever get to that point, great. Multi-prompts, yeah, I'd say
Yes, multi-prompts are advanced.
Yes.
Like,
because if you think about it, like, even just wrapping your brain around like what is a like, I could understand weights better because that was a little bit more intuitive, I think. But like, when if I were to think of it as like two equal prompts together as a multi-prompt, and then like, how does that even work? Like, how do you take two prompts and then it becomes one picture? And like, what is going on that happens? Like, I couldn't even like words, right? How to like think of it.
And they have
so, like,
different.
how to understand it,
But yeah,
They have
multi-prompt
different
techniques is
intrinsic ways.
advanced. Even back in the day when those didn't exist, convincing them that it should be a thing was a bit of a challenge. You're welcome.
Me?
People in general.
Oh.
Because there were two of us explicitly pushing for it. And
Yeah.
that's because I was coming in with knowledge from other things, so felt like a downgrade at a point. It was like, how do I get this to go like this without putting in a bunch of other stuff that'll mess it up? But eventually got at it.
Yeah. What? Are you able to talk about your testing process without revealing too much, but like how do you deal with such a massive stage space? I don't know what that means. I will say the people that are up on stage right now, when we talk about testing, we're not doing anything with the coding. None of us are engineers or programmers. Actually, I don't know about that, but like we're not engineers for Midjourney.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a developer,
So-
definitely not for Midjourney.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for Midjourney, you handle the billings. No, I don't have to.
Even if I did know, I wouldn't. It's kind of funny because, I'll see them talk sometimes and it just goes right over my head. So funny story, both my parents, my mom's retired, my dad is dead now. So I can say that they were both NSA. And I swear to God, they would just tell me some stuff sometimes because they knew that like I wouldn't repeat it because I didn't know. Either I didn't know what the hell they were talking about or I just like wouldn't remember it. They would say that to me sometimes. Like they probably shouldn't have. Like nothing crazy, but I can't tell you if I don't understand it or remember it,
Yeah, when we have anything given for testing, we're essentially treated as everyday users. We just have early access because usually, like, they need the kind of low volume testing where they can actually have conversations with people and they don't have, 1,000, 10,000 different feedbacks that make it difficult to figure out what's happening. So that's really why things get tested at that level. But we're just random people.
Yeah.
we're doing more like QA stuff or like trying to find bugs or like a lot of guides and mods. When we test, we're thinking about ourselves too, like how, when we use it, but also like trying to advocate for people as well, because a lot of the guides, like they have their finger on the pulse way more than a lot of others because they're the ones answering questions and support all day, every day, so.
Also, as someone put it at one point, we make porn so you can't.
No, don't.
But we make sure it doesn't, rather.
Don't break her out.
I literally put a reminder in our like mods guys chat, like, guys, if you hop on stage today, remember, like you can be.
I know what I can say.
And you're breaking all of those rules.
No, I'm not.
Stressing me out, man.
Like, we have to test to make sure that it's safe. So we find out when it isn't safe. So they make it so it can't be done.
David's gonna come back and be like, what happened?
And we're going to blame it all on you.
No, don't do that. Don't.
Yep, that's happening.
She did not have
Oh God, what is that?
And it went.
Wall of text. Oh my gosh. Maybe don't do that. Sorry, I'm gonna delete that. That's a lot. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to be helpful, but put that somewhere else, please. I'm sorry. That was a little too much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have copied the message if you didn't have it saved. But yeah, please don't paste that.
Poor people, mobile users are going to be like, what's going on here?
Put it in like a thread or something.
Yeah. This.
Where's that?
Don't
Like in the middle of the
put it in
conversation.
prompt chat because that's going to throw away what people are talking about in prompt chat. Don't do that.
Yeah, like genuinely, a feature that Discord doesn't advertise too much, but I find it very useful, is like TXT files, where you can just send a TXT file with a very big message.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I forgot about that.
Hey.
Good
They
point.
want you to pay. It's called Nitro, so you can. I haven't said anything yet. Technically, we have a very good relationship with Discord. I'm not.
Discord loves us.
Well, you know.
Yes. I can say that confidently.
Okay. I remember a time where, like, we crashed. The whole the whole service went down because of Midjourney.
Yes, we have a very good relationship with Discord, which is why in painting exists.
And
No idea if you put that thread in the right place. It seems to be in the right place. There are 2 threads above. People would like to read the long things. They are there. What's the strangest reaction you've gotten from showing someone Midjourney for the first time? I haven't really gotten any strange reactions yet because I haven't really showed it to many people that weren't already aware of it. Like
yeah.
my mom, and she just thought it was cool.
The strangest reaction I got was I was told that I needed help.
But that was probably for the images you make, not for Midjourney.
Exactly. Yes. But you asked, and that's what I got. Is you might want to seek help.
It's not very strange, but I think my favorite reactions are when people are like, I'm like, okay, I'll usually ask, like, have you, because people, you meet new people and they're like, oh, what's your job? So then I have to explain that I have 2 jobs, and then I have to explain what those 2 jobs are, and it's like a whole thing. So like for Midjourney, I'll be like, have you ever heard of Midjourney? And my favorite is when people are like, no, and then I'm like, okay, have you ever heard of Discord? And then they say no, and then I go, have you heard of like AI art images? And they'll say no. So like that's fun because it's one, like they're either like, oh wow, that's what, like you either blow their mind or they just like don't care at all, and it's just so humbling, and I love it. I'm like, yes, thank you for reminding me that this is not like, because this is my world, you know what I mean? But this is like, some people just don't give a F. It's awesome.
Like, I'm more surprised when I hear about Midjourney in contexts I'm not expecting. Like last night, just happened to be watching a YouTube video and it mentioned Midjourney. Posting link.
I will say,
Like, you can also blame that video for today's daily theme.
yeah, I will say, like, I've gotten angry reactions. Like, the very first Discord server that I ever joined, I got kicked out of that and cussed out because I was like, yeah, I work for Midjourney. And then one of the people like lost their mind, and they're like, okay, well now I know that you are like a very trustable person, like that, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, you're unhinged. Like, you're just kind of weird for that. I don't know. What's kobold? What's a kobold?
Can we get better training for kobolds? Things will get better with time. It's hard to specifically target things to be better at.
If you want to try something,
What was that?
if you want to try something that's unusual, it's best to just try a direction that's more common. So, for example, kobolds are essentially very small lizard people. So you just have to do that, like just lizard people. You gotta riff off of that. Otherwise, Midjourney will never.
Listen, I'm not riffing on anybody in particular. It just reminds me that I think it's really funny when, not funny like how you're upset, but like I think like people will get really like emotional about like very 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 extremely specific things. and sometimes like they'll take it out on us. And I'm just like, what is your life? And then I remember there was one guy, he was so upset because he was trying to get pictures of like, I don't know where he lives, but it was like some very specific region. And he was like, that's the wrong kind of grass. It needs to be this kind of grass, not this kind. And then like posted pictures and they just look the same to me. I was like, okay. Sorry, you were saying something. What?
Oh yeah, I was just answering the previous question. So they were asking any odd reactions. I've got a lot of interesting reactions because I've shown Midjourney to quite a lot of people. But I think the one that's kind of more unusual is that I already had mentioned Midjourney to a colleague of mine at work, and he thought it was cool and everything. Then it was like, okay, by the way, you do that thing with Midjourney, all right? But like all the images I've seen online are very clean, very Pinterest, very boring, and does it do any grungy, anything gritty and cool? And I literally I don't touch anything. I just move my monitor towards him, and this is the image I was working on. And he just nodded. He was like, "Oh, okay."
A lot of the time when it doesn't make things you want it to make, it's because it just doesn't recognize the word, but there are other words you can use to get what you want.
Oh yeah. It was just such a mic drop moment. I could not have fabricated it better myself.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I remember that when you got Karistina got kicked out. That was so upsetting. That was during the that was like over the winter when like the whole like AI versus artist thing was happening too, wasn't it? That was so disappointing to me. And I understand it. Like I I don't want to necessarily discount people who feel threatened or feel a certain way about AI because I think invalidating it doesn't necessarily help, because some of it's real. I've said this a lot where I think a lot of like what AI is highlighting like in the art world has just been problems that have already existed for a while, and it's just maybe getting exasperated or like more obvious in a way with the AI, like the event of AI art, but like it's been a thing. Like I'll give you an example. Artists or art for a long time has been pretty devalued. And it depends on like which niches you are in as well. So like if you're doing purely illustration, it's a really difficult line of work to get into because you have a lot of competition. The need for custom illustration is like gone down with the fact that stock sites exist like they do. You could get a $30 monthly subscription to Envato Elements, and are they really great? Maybe not, but there's a whole lot of stuff to choose from now. And not only that, but a lot of places, the more the businessmen minded places, they'll outsource to other countries that you can pay them a lot less, which ethically I don't love that, but it's businessmen or business people, doing that kind of stuff. And so, and then you also have a lot of artists who will then also feed into that because they're scared to ask for what they're worth. Because if you're facing down, if your choice is like, I need to make sure that this company, person, whatever, is still going to hire me, versus I'm not going to get any money at all. Like, I've been there. Even when you have like experience and portfolio built up, if you're trying to get freelance work and you don't have like an established clientele, that can be difficult to navigate, and so now AI is going to highlight that. And it already has, in a way. But at the same time, like, a lot of these problems were already very present for a long time for many other reasons. And so I personally do not think that it is fair to necessarily just blame AI for that. There's a lot of other factors and a lot of other stuff and a long history going on that has contributed to all of that. I will say that I've met a lot of artists who have a very healthy perspective on it too. I feel like a lot of artists who have been in the industry for like 20 plus years maybe are usually more apt to see it as a new tool versus like a threat, because they've been through it before with the introduction of digital. Even just like switching from like doing everything, on paper to on the computer screen was a huge thing, and or taking pictures with digital cameras. And it's so interesting, if you go back in history to like the early 1900s, there's like I've literally looked up articles like from the 1900s, and their quotes they say about photography are like word for word nearly the exact same as what they're saying about AI. So it's really interesting. Yeah, I feel there's a lot of artists who are in like the right mind space about it. It's just like you're gonna see more people, like more artists that are upset about it, because that's kind of, especially like on certain platforms like Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, like that's the more like accepted way of thinking, right? And if you don't fall into that, you'll kind of get attacked. So, oh, hi, Kinky. But just
I was gonna come quietly. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just got started. I was pretty much almost done anyways. But like, if you don't fall into that like line of thinking, then you're wrong and you'll get attacked. So a lot of people just aren't talking about it. And it doesn't necessarily it doesn't necessarily help that that there's like some pro AI people who are also like not very nice, or like kind of mean, or cringy about it too, So what did I out myself? Okay, I'm distracted now. I'm going back to mute. Bye.
Bye.
More
so
proof
overall-
that I am the worst.
No, it was the combination of that and me distracting her with a DM.
Yeah, that did distract me, actually. I was like, oh, no, it made me panic. So I was like, am I saying something wrong? And then it wasn't. And then I realized that I'd just been laughing awkwardly for like 3 seconds too long. So anyway.
Oh, and if I can wrap up the very, very interesting comment Fanakal just made, with my own little bit of experience, I find that it is a problem with the inherent use that art has seen throughout the years. Because if you break down what an artist is supposed to be doing, it is so much more than just drawing, just making visually interesting things. There are so many other steps, and that's just one of many. And so until we have some kind of general intelligence that can do all the things that people can do, that you can't just replace one piece. But the real issue is that that's what artists are supposed to be doing. What a lot of artists are actually hired to do is pretty pictures. Like, they're not hired to work, in a visual constrained environment where they're following, directors and having some storytelling structure. They're just make me a picture that works well as a cover art for this book. Just do it. I don't care. Just do it. So if that is the kind of requirement, that is the kind of environment that those artists have, then yes, sadly, it is easy to replace them with something with Midjourney, but that's because the work was already highly undervalued. So it is exposing the reality of what those people are actually paid to do, which is extremely unfortunate.
I'm a full-time designer. I do Midjourney on top of it, and like so much of it is just me scouring stock sites for stuff. Like that's so true. But then there's a whole visual literacy that comes with it, of like knowing what's good, like what actually works, what will there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into it, and probably robots will be able to do that at some point too. And then I don't know where we'll be, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm really not.
Yeah. I mean, you're still one step above because you are a designer. Like, if we're just talking about people that do commission work, where it's just a one-off, and they, for example, just make an illustration for an article, a news article that just came out, or, something that's concept art related. There's so many artists that I've known that honestly they're doing grunt work, and just it makes no sense because that's not what they're actually good at. They're not good at drawing. That's insulting. They're good at being, creatives. And so, yeah, like, what if you are already to one step above them? For example, if you already are an artistic director, or if you, work with many types of media and mix them together, yeah, of course, you're much safer because no AI at this time is able to work with that level of complexity.
On the talk of stock images, I posted a link a little while ago, but it reminded me of the fact that we have taken over the Google image results for women laughing alone with salad. Like, a majority of the top results.
Women laughing what?
Us. Women laughing alone with salad.
Oh, and salad is hilarious.
Yeah, they look horrifying. They look terrible. Just
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could do
Big time salad laugher.
I could do a whole rant right now about art and skill and how that's not. I'll save you from it, but I just have to say it, okay? Sorry. I'm stopping myself.
I had to say myself too. I believe you.
All you gotta do is look up any outsider artist, and it will question the whole idea of art and skill. For example, one of my favorite artists is Bill Traylor. And people look at his stuff and go, ugh, but I love his stuff.
As an outsider artist, I agree.
I mean, the whole concept of art is a thing.
But like
Like-
even within, sorry, go ahead.
Like if you look at Untitled Portrait of Russ in LA, a lot of people just wouldn't get it or even consider it art because it's basically just a pile of candy.
Yes. So we had like even within the art world, we had a whole era of art that was not necessarily about skill, postmodernism. Because you had, and I might be slightly wrong on this, but I'm just trying to remember my very old art education by now. But there was these eras where because you didn't have photography, right? A lot of art was just figuring out how to make things look real. And like that actually took humans a long time. Like you think it wouldn't, like things like what's it called? Like something perspective, like getting things to look like they're further away in a painting or composition. Like that actually, like humans did not figure that out collectively for like way longer than you'd think. I don't know the exact point of time where that happened, but like I just remember like learning about that in school and being like, wow, like they really did not know that.
Yeah, we almost had to cheat with our camera obscura. We had to use all sorts of weird things to figure that out.
Right. So finally, what really happened is like once, and I wouldn't say it was, once photography came out, but like it was kind of starting to happen before that too. But a lot of the 20th century was basically just artists being like, okay, what is art? Like, what is art even? And that, you had things like the Dada in like the 1920s ish, where, that famous piece where that guy put like a toilet and he just put it in a museum. And like, that was really interesting because it was one of the first times that, somebody was like, here's a freaking toilet. This is art. And so then you're like, oh, you're faced with this question, right? And that makes you think, and that's art. Like that's art because So I remember when I was 14, I'm gonna tell you this little story and then I swear to God I'll shut up. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. But when I was 14, I was a little fledgling artist, and I remember asking my art teacher, or talking to my art teacher, because my dad was gonna take me to MoMA the next day. If you don't know, it's the Modern Museum of Art. It's in New York City. There's some very famous pieces there. And I kind of expressed to her like this kind of disdain, for a lot of modern art, where I was like, it's just dumb. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just, a blank canvas or whatever it is. Like, it just seems like woo-woo to me. And I remember she sat me down and she was like, no, like, she kind of gave me this similar talk, whereas like, she basically challenged me to think about it. Is like, you don't have to like it, but there's a lot of like historical context around this, and this is the reason why we do consider it art. And so I went to MoMA, and I don't know if anybody is familiar with Marina Abramovich, or Abramovic. I'm probably saying it wrong. She's a very, very famous performance artist. She's like the grandmother of performance art. She's done some really, really cool pieces. Like there was one where she, like some of her earlier pieces was like one where she basically invited an audience in and like had a bunch of objects around her. And like the deal was that the audience could interact with her, do anything to her body that they wanted to do, and she couldn't do anything. She just had to stand there. And it was like it was like so interesting what happened. It was also a little bit upsetting. But she has some like really interesting pieces. I did not know who she was. I was 14. I had no context, okay? And when you go up in the MoMA galleries, they have like 3 or 4 floors, and they have these like window cutouts in the galleries themselves, so you can like kind of see down. It's like this like open area, and she was there. She was there. She was doing a I don't know what it's called, not a project, for a piece. She was doing a piece called "The Artist is Present." And if you're familiar with her and any of her work, you know how big of a deal The Artist Was Present was. It was very, very famous. By this point, she was already very well known. And so people like lined up for like days beforehand. And like what this was it was just, I think it was like for 14 hours straight for like months. She would arrive and she sat at a table. I think even her chair had like a built-in toilet in it so that she could go if she needed to, because she did not leave that chair for 14 hours. And on the other end of the table, she would invite people to sit with her and they would look at each other. And I did not know who she was at all. And I remember I was 14. I had just had this whole like, this art is woo-woo BS talk with my teacher. And I remember looking down and having this entire revelation and being like, oh my God, like, this is what art is. Like, this is what art, like, it is so much more than just a pretty picture or a nice tune or a film. You know what I mean? Like, it's about what I am experiencing in this moment, like these emotions, these feelings, this revelation, everything that I am thinking right now, like this is art, and it doesn't need to be that to be art. And as I was having this whole revelation, a family walked up behind me and they go, "That's dumb. That's so stupid. She's just looking at each other. I don't get it. That's dumb," and like walked off. And it wasn't until I was in college years later, I remember I was in an art history class and I saw this like flyer up on the board in the front, and like somebody was like having a talk where they were like discussing The Artist is Present by Marina Abramovich. I just remember like seeing like the red dress picture and being like, wait a second. I did not even realize how big of a deal it was until then. And I think that really speaks to that, of like the power of what art can be, because it like changed my life and I didn't even know. You know what I mean? I just want to tell that story. I'm sorry, but like this is what gets me when people are like art, like you have to like go through this pain to like learn how to do good art, right? You have to like, yeah, like if you want to do paintings, drawings, if you want to be like technically skilled in this, yes, like it's a difficult process, and like that shouldn't discount every other kind of art that exists, though, that can be just as transformative and just as, emotionally fulfilling to consume. You know what I mean? Like, an AI falls within that. And I'm just like, my thing is like, people, like the art world's always going to value pieces that ask those questions, and human lives too, right? Like a lot of art is famous because the people who made it, right? So there's never going to be like a world where the art world just like does not value stuff that humans make. At least the fine arts world, right? So anyway, that's my rant. I'm sorry. But I feel very strongly about this because, it frustrates me sometimes when people are like, art is just this like small thing, or like they have like this very like small view of like this is what art is, and like anything else is not that. And it's just like go like oh, I don't know how to say this, that's not bad. there are a lot of books. There's a lot of stuff out there that, like, for free on Google. Actually, literally, I think Google has like a really cool, I don't know if they still do it, but they have like a really cool like art thing that they launched a while ago, and it was like a really interactive way to like learn more about art and whatnot. And it's just like, you know, art is just so much more. Please, like, you might enjoy learning about it. Like, it's I think it's really interesting and fun. So anyway, somebody else say something, please.
Something, please.
More
Oh my
questions
God.
from chat. Give us a new topic.
Got any questions for us? We're here to tickle your minds.
I arted.
Best food you've ever had. Favorites are hard. Had a lot of good food.
Best food for me is really just Indian cuisine in general. The spices are.
I can tell you about the last food I ever had, and that was a bagel with butter.
Last week had some really good Chinese. Was from one of those places where you go in and know it's going to be either the best or worst you've ever had.
So I had a hot pot.
It was a hole in a wall, basically.
Yeah.
You ever had a hot pot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. Emery style.
Oop, looks like my power's going out.
Is everybody safe out there?
So far, so good. Just a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind.
Good, good. How about the chat? You guys safe out there? Nope.
Favorite place
Guess
to
if
eat
they're
it,
not,
so
they're probably not typing here.
I don't think any of us are there to give an opinion.
If I disconnect, that means my power goes out. So, thank you, Hurricane.
I'm thinking of you.
Thank you.
Did anyone get hit hard?
If they were, they're probably not here.
I know, I keep saying that and then thinking it, and then I
Yeah.
keep saying other things related to it. Sure, some people did. They just not in this chat. Which I'm not laughing about.
The weather is right now for me on the radar. Let's find out.
Above you, probably.
Oh no.
I mean,
Think so?
technically, the weather is everywhere.
Well, yeah. Find out.
I have no idea how much torture it was trying to wait, like trying to hear through my customers if you were going to give some sort of an announcement today. It was like dying.
No announcements today. Dragon asks if any of us like video games and which ones. Yes, and many.
Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
Vampire Survivors, World of Tanks, Diablo
Teamfight Tactics, Pokemon, Xenoblade.
3.
Dragon Age.
The original Oregon Trail.
I always forget that free game that's like Vampire Survivors.
Holocure. I actually remembered it without looking it up this time.
Hey, that one's so much fun. I like Holocure.
Harvesting games like Stardew Valley, Green Factory.
I mean, have we not mentioned Minecraft yet? I think that's kind of a crime.
Minecraft, of course. Yeah.
DM'd me an invitation to the Minecraft server when I first came on to Office Hours. I was like, okay, ignore. Sorry.
I think the last games I played were Five Nights at Freddy's and Minecraft back when my son was a wee little Bradley head. And I liked those games. I liked all the horror games that he liked and tablet games.
Yeah. Eventually, we need to put together like an official Midjourney texture pack for Minecraft.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh,
At you. Well, I
That is on my list of things to eventually get around to.
I've
that's
done,
probably
I've done a texture pack one time for my own use. I took it from various other places just to make my own.
yeah, and it sounds very easy to do as well because with Minecraft you can definitely like image prompt 5 different grass textures, like 1 square at a time,
Yeah.
and merge it together so it's kind of seamless, and just
I mean,
you
we
know,
can even use tile.
yeah, absolutely for the top grass part, absolutely.
So you
And
probably only need like 3 different textures for most things.
yeah, it's true. And yeah, absolutely. The other thing as well is that Midjourney is not great at doing pixel art by itself, but if you do something that's close to pixel art and then you reduce it with like nearest neighbor, compression, nerdy stuff like that, just batch all the graphic things, you probably are gonna be able to do something. It's gonna take a week, but pretty quick for a text pack.
Same brain. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just stuck off and tried to make a Minecraft
those-
skin, and it didn't.
For those unaware, Snuckle and I kind of have very same brain a lot of the time, and we're generally typing the exact same thing.
Yeah. It makes our jobs easier because we almost always agree on stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but
Like 99% of the time.
yeah.
Like how Circuit and Replicant share a voice.
Yes, we do.
This is fun. We should do more of these. Yes, we should. All comes down to when it's actually possible to.
I just tried to make a Minecraft skin, and it didn't work. But they're super easy. They're just like they're cut out like the way boxes are cut out. You know what I mean? Figured maybe it would work.
That makes you wonder what things we disagree on. Um,
I think sometimes we,
it's usually just minor decisions,
yeah. Like,
and then we usually discuss it and come to a conclusion.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's like some like modding stuff sometimes that we'll have different opinions on, but we're usually pretty close, and I think we're also good like if like one of us agrees with the other, like we're like really good about like respecting the other, and like it's a give and take sometimes, where like sometimes like I'll be like, nope, I want to do this, or like I think this and I feel strongly about it, and then like vice versa. Like there are other times where I'm like, even if I don't agree, like
We take it very personal and we berate each
no, I do not. I'm like, no, I think I'm pretty proud of myself. I think I'm pretty good about separating like personal stuff from work stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It does overlap a lot because the mods and guides and all of us, like, we're also like all friends, or at least friendly, like shooting the shit and stuff. So sometimes it overlaps, but we're all pretty good about figuring it out. What did you say?
No, it's just Danger said Circuit and Nathan are fighting again.
Oh yeah, Circuit loves bullying me, and I cry every day. So
This is true.
yeah, Circuit's a bully.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what everybody seems to think.
Do you have non-work life? I don't early.
Yes, but like it takes a lot of effort actually. Like I went to a Cubs game yesterday for the first time. I was like, I left like before it finished, so I was like not interested in baseball. I was also like falling asleep. It's like I don't want to deal with these crowds. But now like I actually like legit am like I like
have to force myself at a certain point to like go offline, or to like I'll be online but I won't do work stuff. Or like I've been making a point to like go out on dates like usually every week with my partner. Just kind of has to schedule it in, and just do it. And otherwise you'll just be work all the time. But yeah, I do.
I need to work harder on that part.
I'm good about helping you with that a little bit. I took you to a museum the other week.
Yeah. But to be fair, that's on a day I already wouldn't have been working.
That's fair, yes.
I try to force myself
He's
not
one
to
from
work
the
on
Republic.
the weekends. It was the Art Institute in Chicago.
Huh.
Actually, just posted a picture from there up in chat earlier.
Cool.
Let's go to the beach. Which beach? Because down here that would just be hell.
As long as it's not Tybee.
Hey, Tybee's a really good beach to scream at. Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Good old Tybee trash.
I got pulled over there once. They thought I was like drunk driving, and I was not. The cops were like, "What are you doing? It's midnight. What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I'm just here to scream." Like, kind of.
I love that.
They listen.
I worked like right on the beach for 2 years, and it was hell. So I have a bit of an avoidance to beaches unless it is nice and cool and overcast.
I think it's kind of unfair that there aren't a lot of places in this world where people can just go and scream at the top of their lungs
I mean, technically, you can do it anywhere. It's just
without a
social
pillow
acceptable,
or
not-
dirty looks. Yeah.
Yeah, we need more scream places. I agree.
The beach at Hilton Head's really nice.
And really, anywhere in the middle of the night is fine.
Yeah. They'll just think you're a fox trying to get laid.
Well, Walmart's a great place to be.
Out. If I heard somebody screaming in the middle of the night here in Chicago, I don't think that would. Yeah.
It wouldn't faze you.
Well, no, I'd be like, "What the hell is going on?" in that
Well, where you are, yeah.
Vision.
But where I am, I just think, oh, hey, it's the middle of the night. Probably someone's going from one bar to the other.
True.
I live out in the country. If I hear a scream, then there's something wrong.
It's-
I'm like halfway through calling the cops on a scream when they start laughing. And I'm like, oh, God. It's quite the crowd. Midjourney.
So, any more questions from chat? So at this point, it seems like we're basically going until we run out.
What if I want to ask questions?
And you can ask questions if you want.
Wait, shit.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wasn't ready.
If you ask the questions, you can't answer them.
Yeah, that's fair. ChatGPT, what questions should I ask?
You won't get interesting questions that way.
Well, or not. We'll see.
If you guys could add any
Yeah.
cool additions to the Midjourney models, what feature would it be?
Injecting it in my eyeball.
It's Midjourney Neuralink would be cool, but realistically, there are a lot of things I'd like to see. A lot of
Racer.
things I can't talk about.
Oh,
What do I want?
no. Video. Well, I mean, it's already there, but I want to remix with video.
Mm,
Like actually, do some stuff with video stuff.
yeah, like
Yeah, I'd love to do like
far out, probably never happening thing would be custom model training. How do you feel about a feature like ControlNet? That is something that I definitely want, and David has mentioned is being worked on. So,
Oh, fancy.
Billicorn's on the stage.
so she is.
Finally.
Is she here for me to tell her to go to bed?
Wow. I don't know why she's so quiet. Does she know that she's quiet?
Unclear.
Well, I had to invite her up on the stage to do this, so I
Oh.
presume she knows.
Oh, that one thing that I would really like as a feature would be the way to basically combine images that you've generated together, like have a left and right one and form what should be in between them. Something like that.
I think it will be really great if Midjourney added something like dream journal.
Oh, hey, you're back. Or actually,
Here.
hello.
Hello.
Dream journaling could be interesting. Would be part of the Neuralink thing, I think. Just beam your dreams directly into Midjourney. See how many times you hit the filter.
Wow.
I don't want a custom model, but I would like to be able to give a certain set of pictures and it will replicate that style.
And we can kind of do that with image prompting.
Yeah, sort of, but not to the extent that I want it, fortunately. I'm a little bit nitpicky.
I'd love to be able to like add a caption to your picture. Have that like help organize things.
Meme generator? Isn't that just slash imagine?
You can already do that now. In fact, I think if you ask for a meme, it will do it. Let me see if I find the one I did.
Be warned that the word meme tends towards Trump images for some reason.
Oh, that's how you get them to do that more.
Well, better going in knowing than having it just be accidental and people just asking why they're getting so much Trump. Which
I have a question for the chat.
is better than the other old thing that resulted in Trump images, which was God Emperor. That was version 1 through 3. God Emperor made Trump.
Damn.
What kind of work to make Biden? I don't know. I haven't explicitly searched out things like that.
Snakes and snails and puppy dog trails, kind of.
Fun thing is I did one with Biden once and I didn't get Biden. I got, here it is. I asked for Biden, Obama, Birdie on a Saturday morning cartoon and I got a mix of, oh, here it is. This is the one.
Can Midjourney generate an image? Yes. It has generated many images. And Wes, I think you know that.
Instead of Biden, I got Obama.
Oh, Biden.
I asked for Jesus Christ walking with Biden, and it gave me Obama instead.
You guys, oh my gosh, are stressing me out.
Political words.
Please don't encourage them.
What is a night move in an L shape?
Night moves. Night moves.
Oh, easy, Chime. Super glue. And for legal reasons, that's a joke.
It's not really Midjourney related, but I really, really want an AI that will organize all of my files on my computer for me.
What do you prompt to expand the AC cinematic universe? I'll leave that to you guys to say more on.
And eater boys
Cat boys.
and eater men.
Literally just cat boys.
Unsubscribe. Oh,
Is there a way to do permutations of each and each style at once? Yes, there is.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. What have y'all been watching lately? Okay, all right, fine.
Watching my
I haven't been
stomach.
watching
fine.
anything recently.
Jeez.
Watching my
I
stomach
noticed
cover
this
my
gears
boobs.
towards me, and I have not yet started with the K drama. I am so sorry.
Oh, I was not on that, but okay. I mean, if you want to bring it up, we could talk about it. It's fine. Hang on.
No, I don't.
I've been really into K dramas lately, so I'm trying to get Sam to do it to watch stuff. It's
Like the most recent thing I watched fully was Food Wars.
I'm watching the Netflix series Ragnarok.
Yes.
what is Foundation?
I finally started Good Omens, and then I forgot. Paying my bill.
For those responding to Food Wars in chat, yes, very good. Liked it up until the last season. The last season was too rushed. Beyond that, mostly YouTube lately.
Yeah, I do a lot of YouTube myself. YouTube is like, it's hard to get past YouTube for me because like I just have this endless collection of creators that I watch.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't have time to watch anything else. I'd rather watch small creators.
I have many things to catch up on, which is, to be fair, mostly Minecraft videos.
What, Mavis? Will the filter be removed? And oh boy,
Will the filter be removed? No.
No. Food Wars goes beyond on what will allow for that.
Never ever. I'm here to crush all of your dreams.
I need an emoji that just says no.
I'm here to ruin everything and tell you that you cannot prompt the word chest. Kidding. But it did happen.
More filters just for Mavis.
Yeah.
No.
Not sad face. Oh,
No.
Mavis.
I'm here to be the butthole that everybody just doesn't like because I say no.
Don't have to get all anal about it.
Yeah, that was really good.
Of course it was.
I don't know. I think he's just talking out his ass.
That's
I think this is a great once in a blue moon event on an actual blue moon.
Is it?
yeah.
Maybe we need to schedule them for that
This is coming
every actual blue moon it happens.
You know what? I think I'm getting tired of being the butt of all the jokes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Oh, new wants to know when we're gonna get a second.
Even if we stop, more will rear their head.
He was putting the pressure on you guys.
Yeah, it's all a dead end now.
And
Just flying by the seat of my pants.
What is the stupidest thing that you've been yelled at for being a mod on Midjourney?
oh, I muted a guy for yelling and fighting, and then he came onto my server and gave me a bunch of middle fingers.
Got
I mean,
you.
how are we defining yelled at here? Because there have been a lot of stupid things that people have been upset about that we've had to deal with. Most of which you've seen.
Yes. What was that one day that we got the one guy who like got in an argument with me and a bunch of other mods because it was like right when the AI moderator. Oh, I probably should bring this up. He got mad because he couldn't like do poopy pics. Like, and what was the other guy what was the other one like at the same time?
Story. I made F Knuckle mute herself. Love this.
Will future bedrooms be controlled via prompts? Maybe. Depends on how you're thinking about that.
Unicorn said she was yelled at for changing someone else's prompt post-prompting.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
I honestly don't remember one because they're all insignificant to me.
Yeah, eventually they all kind of start to blur together.
Anyone listening, that doesn't happen. Nobody can change
Oh.
your prompt after you've prompted it.
I know what is the stupidest thing, but I cannot talk about it here. But Snuckle and Circuit would definitely be aware
Wow.
because it involves both of them.
Now I want to know.
I don't know what you're
I don't
talking
do this stuff.
It was still her fault. That's all I got to say.
No, it wasn't.
I'm kidding.
If anything, it was my fault. And then the fallout was just stupid.
I'm really confused.
Your hint is the number 5.
Wow, this still doesn't help.
Or maybe a pentagon.
Okay, we're hitting closer. I still don't know, but sure.
But AC stands for elusive conspirer.
Hold on.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
You got it right as I hit send.
No, Sand told me.
Okay.
I will say that the most interesting mod discussion we had was the motive behind the images that we saw was the two guys dancing.
Yes. That one.
Oh, God.
That was so funny because we were like, well, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but the prompt tells a story, and we were trying to figure out what happened. But basically, it was like two guys dancing in a ballroom wearing tuxedos, and one relieved themselves, and we couldn't figure out if it was on purpose, it was by accident. They were too embarrassed. They kept on dancing. Like we went into this whole idea of like theory crafting over the whole story of this one prompt that showed up. I
Wow.
will never forget that.
The results were fine. It was just
yeah,
weird.
the words told a different story.
Yeah.
Hat tip to whoever that person was, because it's still funny to this day.
And no, we don't have a secret VC Tech specific chat about the chat and progression of events. Like, we'll meet each other if necessary.
Yeah.
There's some chat in the mod chat, but like none of that is relevant. I'm not even looking there, except occasionally just to see if anyone is saying anything. Yep. There's been no chat relevant to that. There.
All of our chats are secret.
Do we get to have good theorycraft conversations like that often? No.
I'm actually so
That's what made that one special.
Yeah, that's why that one stands out.
We did interesting conversations in general a lot.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we used to get a lot more though. Like now we're like a lot more on the same page. But like it took it like a year-ish ago. Like I feel like we had way more conversations like what should and shouldn't be allowed like a year ago. Whereas like now we got that more figured out. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like the whole like bring up a bunch of women on the stage office hours.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe the QA process could encourage theory crafting conversations. Yeah. Hard to do like that, but we do have interesting conversations when testing new models and such.
Memphis, ugly is relative,
Funniest conspiracy theory we've heard?
Mavis has once said that my gallery could give him diabetes because it's so pink and pretty. So yeah, it is very relative.
There have been some interesting conspiracy theories, but
Let's see. I mean, one of the conspiracy theories is that Midjourney learns what people prompt. That's my favorite one.
One I saw was that we explicitly removed Andrew Tate from the dataset.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody once, it's not really conspiracy theory, but somebody rolled an image and the image randomly had the word sex in it, just like really small, and they were like,
Oh yes.
they were like
That is a lie, Clutch.
that. Yeah, it wasn't even like part of the prompt. So, but obviously, but like they were just like convinced that Midjourney had like somehow, like they were like they came up to some member support and they're really pissed off. They were like, stop putting NSFW stuff into my like. What are you like? They thought that we like literally just did that. I think that's like a lot of different things. People think that Midjourney like purposely does things that like some of it's more understandable, but like some of it's like so random that I don't understand why people think it's possible that there's like somebody at Midjourney that like is doing this. Like, I think there was one example where it was like they're trying to get a prompt of like Taylor Swift assembling something or being assembled or something like that. And they got pictures with like musical notes in it. And so they thought that like the word assembled turned into like ensemble because it's like music. They thought like Midjourney was like changing the words, but like Taylor Swift is a musician. So that was like, why would Midjourney do that? Why would Midjourney do that? Do you know what I mean?
Hold on, I just found a message where you were saying that. Oh yeah, they were saying it was spell checking and correcting assembling to ensemble or something.
Yeah, except it's like assemble is a real word. It was just very bizarre.
Yeah.
And then the weird thing is like when I tell people like that's not how it works, then people get very aggressive about it. And they're like, no, like this is it. And honestly, sometimes they're right, but like a lot of times not. But like I try to like I'll like ask the devs, like, can you confirm this for me or can you like double check this for me? And sometimes it's how we find bugs, honestly. So I don't discount things just, just because, like, I'm skeptical, but
Yeah.
yeah, some of it's just kind of really out there.
Like, long ago, remixing was a bug. We made
Oh,
them make it a feature.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. That was so complicated. Well, it wasn't really complicated to do it, but yeah.
It kind of was to understand how exactly it worked, but once you got it, it was stupid.
Yeah, I remember that Knuckle going, "Wait, hold on. How do you do this again?"
Actually, I wonder if that still works in some capacity. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't because it expands settings now.
Yeah.
Oh,
All about style curse. It's cursed. There's not much to tell about it other than
I can.
it is cursed.
I think that was literally like the devs, like all the like special stuff that they make to make things pretty. They just like did the opposite of that.
Yeah, it was like, here's all the bad stuff we're trying to avoid
Yeah.
as a style.
And it's so glorious.
Yeah.
Came out amazing.
When Curse was announced, I was like, yes. And then when Star Raw came, I'm like, yes.
And we
I
get
think it was-
cursed for V5.
I think it was almost like
Probably not, but I hope so.
style meme or something like that. But like it wasn't. We did like they didn't name it style meme because then expect to get like actual memes.
Well, it was always style cursed in testing, and then it was just a secret release that was like no one ever got. And we hinted at it very explicitly.
One of my favorite prompts that feels cursed but isn't is found photography.
Mm.
It always feels like creepy.
If you want some fun, if there's people listening never tried it, bad photoshopped.
Oh, and speaking of that, y'all should come to prompt battles. If you haven't
I
yet,
was just gonna say that.
thank you.
Are they all like Sundays or something?
Yes,
Haven't had yet.
Sundays at the same time as most events start.
And just
Go to give an exact time because time zones exist.
3 to 11 Eastern. Stay there for a long time so that a lot of you can get in from different countries. So
Big bro shooting.
calm down. And some things about prompting that you probably wouldn't have even tried because it's all different than stuff that you ever would have done.
Yeah. I was in there this week doing some
Torture.
weird stuff. Yeah. Making people know things that they wouldn't know.
You were a mean winner.
No, if I wanted to be mean, I'd be mean.
I thought you were with all the Catboy stuff we had to do.
Hey, I won the Catboy round. It's what summoned me. I did not enforce Catboys.
We're forcing cat boys. Previously unspoken sentences.
Midjourney has led me to a lot of sentences that I'd never thought I'd say.
Especially like in a professional setting.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Like-
you're not professional, but and I say that because but it's like not very corporate professional,
Yeah, but like the professional setting where one of the first things after being hired got was a spreadsheet of porn actors.
You guys don't wear tuxedos while you're on the clock? I do.
I only wear a tuxedo in Lodge.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, but Tom R makes a very good point. If you join prompt battles and voice chat, please make sure that your mic is muted.
Back. Or else I get to play whack-a-mole with you. I'll bonk you.
Oh man, I love bad Photoshop.
I'm going to hop down from the stage, but I will be listening. I'm always listening.
Can we make anyone joining be muted by default? Yes, we tried it. It made things worse in a different way. Or on push shock. Also, yes, we tried it. Same thing. How worse? People talking and thinking they were being heard and weren't, and such.
Twisted reality. I got so many. You could do
Yeah, Circuit has a lot of cool, weird stuff. What was the default photo one?
yeah, hold on one second. It's a file name. Give me a sec.
Let me make a below green boat just for muting people in voice chat. We have considered it.
All right. You'll get various stock photo type stuff, landscapes, whatever.
Yeah, not so much stock photo as just
Stuff
photos
with
people have
one
taken.
camera.
Yeah.
If you do this one, you'll get anime related images. I will give you an example of both of them in just. Here's this one. And here is the other one.
Why the anime? I believe that one was default for a Japanese camera or something, or some Japanese file system.
It's just something I ran into, but there you go. There's the two different versions. In fact, I wrote a little tutorial on that, basically just thinking outside the box. So here is the link to that. I have a couple other words like the WF 2009. I don't think I included Comiket in there, but Comiket will actually show you people in cosplay stuff.
And confirm when I went to Comic-Con, there were people in cosplay stuff. So when Japanese people take photos, they look like anime. No, it was a different default file system for something illustration related, I think.
So let me add that to the tutorials, the Comiket one.
Interesting tense.
Bad Photoshop.
Making a walking circus tent was difficult back in V4. That's very specific.
One last one, but yeah, just the word Marquette is pretty strong. You can just get stuff like that. So feel free to explore. Have fun.
People of Walmart give strange stuff also. Oh God,
Yes,
I haven't tried, but now I think I have to.
It reminds me of that one guy stress tested our stuff from adults. So I probably shouldn't say this anymore. Never mind. But I know you know what I'm talking about, AC.
DM me because with that alone, I'm not certain. Reddit photography, also a fun one. Back in the early versions, our place was good for getting pixel art. It doesn't seem as good anymore. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, his gallery was interesting.
Yes. Yes, it was.
It was like he was stress testing the system for the devs, to be fair, but yes.
It just makes fuck spaz. Not yet. There's hasn't been updated yet.
It's on through stress testing.
Yeah. do not do
We
it.
knew what he was doing. Like, if you try to stress test the system and we find it, we're not gonna be so understanding of it.
Yeah.
You will.
Certain people have permission to do things. If you don't have permission, don't do it. If you don't know if you have permission, you don't.
Oh, wait a minute. Do I? Yeah. Don't think that we need your help. Just don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it.
I totally forgot about people at Walmart. Thank you. I got to add that to my tutorial.
Have you combined all of these together yet?
Nope. But that's the point of it. You do it and see what happens. That's what makes this beautiful.
Send me the link so I can do it later.
The link of what?
Tutorial.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll DM it to you. Sounds like I'm going to do this prompt, but I got to fix the spelling of Pumblesnap.
How do you know if you're a green boat? What is a green boat? A guide. Someone with a green boat next to their name. Like Kinky there. If you don't have that, you are not one. Also, valid point from Phoenix. There are enough people testing as it is. So, any more conversation topics from chat? Don't forget, complaining about the filter just makes sure at least 3 different people look at your gallery. True.
That mod hat action's very real.
Yeah. Like, if you complain about first thing we do is check your recent filter hits.
It's an unfortunate reality. You know what? Dragon did a really good one. He did Comiket 2077, and I have to admit, that is pretty rad. It basically looks like Comiket in the future. It's awesome.
And my mouse just died.
Oh, how long did he had it? What was his name?
Stonesy has a pod where you can bury it.
Do we have any news in regards to video updates? No. It is being worked on. That's all we can say on it. We're expecting office hours as usual next week? Yes. Unless something changes, we are expecting regular office hours.
And if it doesn't happen, we can be here again to answer questions.
Yeah.
We'll have fun.
But today is not office hour.
I don't know how David does these and talks for so long about losing his voice. Yeah, I guess he does. But like every week, man, that's a lot.
Someone hasn't participated in prompt battles. Is it a 1v1 experience, or does it go out to everyone and all of the channel compete? Everyone.
Everyone on the voice channel competes, and then you get to vote. Everybody gets to vote one red heart on the image that they like, and whoever has the most wins the topic for the next round.
There could be a one-on-one prompt battle. It would just be different.
Doesn't sound like it'd be fun, though.
Chicago Italian beef or Philly cheesesteak? I abstain.
Oh, come on. You live in Chicago.
Okay. I abstain. Can we have a day where we get to talk to the devs again? Maybe. That's up to them.
Yeah. We invited them to come, but they were busy.
Yep. They are free to come up if they want. I don't know if any of them are still here, but they might be.
And if you're
Yeah. I know that Chris was listening for a while.
Toro, he said Buckle, so I say his name.
How often is platypus and scorpion a prompt in prompt battle? I don't think I've ever seen that one. Kinky, do you know if that one has happened?
It
He's
is.
why?
I've never seen that in a prompt battle.
Do I sound like Aubrey Plaza?
I don't know. I don't know what she sounds like.
No, you do not.
I've ever heard that. Interesting. Okay.
You do not.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but good. Somebody thinks so.
People say I sound like Circuit, so
Platypus is a cursed prompt.
I was typing, forgetting that I was completely on the stage. Not yet. No platypus, no scorpions. So you need to come play prompt battles and make that happen by winning. Just saying, it would be your choice what we all had to prompt.
yep. Come win and drop that down.
I'm just literally typing in the chat while I could be talking. Oh. Sometimes I wish I had a brain cell. Other times I'm perfectly happy without it.
I had only to try it, only to trip the filter once. Oh my god, I love that result.
I want to do so many other games too. I have so many games that like I can make work.
Thanks for that, Jazzy Beats Rosa. That was wonderful.
That is amazing.
I love it. This is why when people are making pretty pictures and stuff, like, no, let's make something goofy, have fun with it.
Mhm.
Hey, meme prompting is how you get some amazing, unexpected things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
Gal-
we have these two stickers.
Gallifrey asked the hard questions. Has anyone ever seen Replicant and Circuit in the same room at one time?
Not yet.
No,
It may
but
happen in the nearest future.
That is
you
true.
really love to pull the wool over my eyes on which one's there when the room is too full and I can't see.
Without memes, how would we know how cats talk?
Exactly. Somebody asked earlier what cats would prompt if they could prompt on Midjourney, and I think what do you guys think? What do you think cats would do if they could prompt?
They wouldn't. They'd just knock the keyboard off the table.
That's what I was going to
Walk
say.
across the keyboard or lay on it.
Yeah, cats don't care about anything. They illustrate it.
Speaking of which, I have not tried prompting.
/ cat, imagine eating my own art.
Cats are like, am
Generated
I not entertaining enough for you? Why do you need art?
Not
Well, the cats know they are the art.
Yes, exactly.
just
Like
realized
this,
that
what more do you need?
I haven't tried prompting a password generator, like random string.
That's your imagining contempt.
Oh, I got one. I totally forgot to share. I need to put that in my thing. Oh, no, give me a second here. I gotta remember how I did it.
Contempt was in the prompt battle, along with a different word. Cat imagine prompt. I've just eaten. Where's my new food? Or I can see the bottom of the bowl. Where is my food? Almost here. Pizza sounds good.
I have a freezer pizza I can make.
We won't be having pizza anytime soon, but I will be having meatballs.
Here's something for you to try.
Meatballs are in the same family as pizza, sauce and cheese.
Oh, that's really cool.
And you can change the lettering and you can get other weirdness, but you get pretty cool results that way. Sometimes you'll get like images of Daft Punk.
Really?
Yeah. This one in particular gave me 3 out of the 4. I did prompt battle and I got 3 that are definitely
Oh, yeah.
Daft Punkish, but it's another one I need to add to my little document, but have fun with that. You can get some really cool aesthetics results out of doing that style. It's pretty wild. In fact, one of the guides got lost down a rabbit hole messing with this for a couple of days. I forgot who it was.
They would definitely
Back
put the
in-
cat on the bad phrases list.
He was white as a ghost and dehydrated. We were all
That reminds me that back in V1-2, when I was trying things out, was using various punks. Like, I had a gown I would go through that would be a great permutation now. And of course, I always ended with Daft Punk.
Hmm. That one was Gizmo. Was that the name of the prompt that you did? Cricket.
What's that?
You did that as Gizmo, right? In prompt battles.
Yes.
Remember that. You know why?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you. Oh, it was the face one? I can't remember which image it was. I have another prompt that I use that I need to find it again, but when you use it, it's like its own chaos without using chaos.
Oh,
Yeah. Type it again. This is what I get. I find things and I go to the next one and I don't write it down.
how long until seeds are stable again? They're mostly stable. Just differently so. Immediately after germination. I mean, basically, yeah. When will the naming convention on the archive downloads be restored? I wouldn't hold your breath.
This is not to promote myself, but there's your Gizmo video
yeah.
of all the results.
The cherry blossom, there should be a report button on the ranking page.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this now. So yeah, like that TikTok, you can just see the different things you can get using that. Kind of cool. Well, actually, it is cool. I thought of it, so yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm trying to archive the results, so making little videos for each.
Stylization feature of dash dash mod's name to get an opinionated model based on what it is that mod, what's in that mod's favorites. Okay, that would be cool.
But I
I
always
would be in
wanted
favor of that.
that's kind of close to that was in the style of user, and then have the user number. That would be creepy, but be funny.
Oh, wow. I have to share this one real quick.
I was just distracted and looked up and saw 100% crystallized cheese. What?
That's a Mal's beer thing.
Banned if our dash dash username produces safe for work.
That'd be
No comment. Hopefully it shouldn't.
basically the whole point of me saying this is just think outside the box because you never know what you'll discover.
Yeah, I like the Wonderfest one too, a lot actually. As somebody who like sells antiques and
Yeah.
vintage items, that one got me good. I love it. In fact, I wonder what Ancient's little cat boys, how much more they would look like little handheld
Actually,
ceramics if he used that.
When he started doing that, I tested it out.
Okay.
I have one of the results somewhere. Let me check.
Tiny Wonderfest cat boy.
Yeah. Scroll.
I don't know where mine is.
Oh, yeah, here it is. This is when we were B5. Oh, actually, Circuit did it himself, now that I look at the file name.
You know, awesome. I love the resin flame.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, you can make some really nice looking figurines using that.
These are things that you guys wouldn't know about. Not you guys, obviously, but the people that did play, that they learned about because they played prompt battles with people who like to share their cool, tricky tricks.
So yeah, fun stuff.
All right. I'm out.
All right. We've been going for about 3 hours now, so. Style raw, best for weird things. Sometimes. Depends on how the model interprets it.
I like to operate in style raw because I like to leave the beautification of things out of it so I can just get whatever.
Yeah. Whereas I do everything permeate and raw just to see how they're different. Or if I really want to, permutation of 5 raw and all of the Niji.
I do all of them. I have V4, all the V5s. I have V3 at Q2. I have like 3 different weirds, and it's just permutation suffix. And there's like 14 of them. Oh yeah, all the Nijis, of course. Should have cursed that.
I do have a custom option that does all of the everything.
I had a to answer Mavis's question, so I put the Niji styles into their own preferred option set. So I have like dash dash NI, that's just like regular Niji. I have dash dash CU, that's this Niji style cute. And then I put that into my permutations here. I'll just give it to you. Permutations right now is pretty much this. That's just my suffix. And then I recently added just dash dash raw because I didn't realize that you could do, dash dash style raw. I didn't realize until recently that style raw still applies to 5.2. I feel like I should have done that, but it's pretty much that, but with the style raw for 5.2 now, and that's just my suffix, so it just always does that every time.
Good Lord.
Well, no, that's not a prefer option. That's my custom suffix. But I think you should be able to put a prefer option inside another prefer option.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. It might be the reason why you can do that because when permutations became a thing and that something happened where it like broke my permutations. Putting the prefer options in my suffix permutations, and so I just DM'd the dev working on it. Was like, "Can you fix this?" So a little self-serving. Worked. Yeah, I will say working at Midjourney is really nice for those benefits. I don't really use them as often as I would if I didn't work at Midjourney, though, is the thing. Do not prompt as much as I used to. Um, yeah. I used to when I first hopped into Midjourney and I only could do relax, I was a lot more gaming. So I felt like I had to continuously prompt or I'd miss out on time, you know? And so that was its own kind of stress. Oh. Interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting mentally, how that changes once you have access, I guess.
There are all of my current options. I should probably update that one to be the shortened links rather than direct Discord links.
Now, what does video do? You can put video. I probably shouldn't do that, honestly, because I barely grab it, but it is also not as fun as it used to be in V3 to watch. But yeah, AJ Mars or AJ. Now that I'm trying to say it out loud, I realize that the way that I say it in my head does not actually make sense. Because I'm AJ Mars. I don't know.
Oh, it's Ads Mars.
Yeah, I that's not how it works. But you can grab it, by using the envelope emoji, but those links will only stay up for 30 days. And then so
will there ever be a way to do it on a single image in 5.2? No.
Well, I don't know if it's no, never. Oh, for 5.2, no. You're right. Specifically 5.2. No. And also, just saying, I'm not implying anything other than my own hopes, okay?
Maybe for future versions, maybe, but I would not say it's likely.
I mean, we can dream, right?
Option for V6 cluster 1 for just one single image. Probably not, but depending on what settings are released with big grids, maybe. We'll see where things go. Because redacted, NDA, redacted.
Is that the real answer?
Yes.
Or do you just not know?
I know, I just can't say anything on it.
Well, that's less one option.
16 by 16, maybe.
Not
honestly, beyond 8 by 8, you're getting to the point of.
At least on Discord.
Even on web, a grid that size is difficult.
Yeah.
The last testing option we did with big grids before was decided against for that time was it generated in Discord, then opened in web for you to select them, and it was, with big grids, very cumbersome.
But also trying to upscale stuff was a nightmare. I actually am so relieved that was not... it sounds fun, it's not fun. It was not fun. It was fun for a minute, and then you're then you actually try to seriously use it, and then you're oh, what the hell?
It was cumbersome.
Yes, especially because I was trying to get my prompt license because everybody else is getting their prompt license by doing that, and I was trying to do my prompt. So if you variate one, then now you got another 16 by 16 grid of all these variations, and then you're just stuck in this hell where you just have just a wall of 16 by 16, and you don't even know what you variated at a certain point. You're just I'm lost. I don't know what's going on. It was interesting.
Yeah, varying into another grid of the same size was one of those where it kind of expected, kind of unexpected behavior, that the decision on it was difficult. Like, people probably wouldn't want to be using all of their hours on that, not knowing.
You know, hey, you know what? What's really funny? Since we're talking about these license to prompt things, this image that I just shared was created August 30th of last year at 7:42 p.m., which is an hour and 40 minutes from now.
Wow. That was
Mine was made on July 30th.
wow. You were just talking in the mods tavern how was it today or yesterday we were made mods?
Yesterday
Yes, yeah.
was the modiversary of a few people.
That was my modiversary, and then I got hired like right after that. That was crazy, and it's been a whole year almost. Yeah, there are stats, but we're never gonna reveal that. I don't.
Yeah.
They're also not significant.
But that's an NDA thing.
Well, no, David has said that it's not a significant representation, but also we're not revealing that.
It's an NDA thing for me. David can say whatever he wants. I cannot.
We can say what David has said about it, which is it's not significant. Didn't they get on the front page and all showed up on a YouTube video one day? Yes, they did. It's like we knew exactly when it was because that was the top image.
Okay, that was back when Dev wasn't like it's the Dev didn't go into a void.
Do we ever need to remind David not to tell a detail about a feature because it's way too early to hint at it? He's the one that decides when it's okay to talk about things.
Yeah.
So it's more of a, if David talks about it, we know it's safe for us to. What's the cats per minute right now? That I can't say because he has explicitly told me not to share it. I can look at it. I can't tell you what it is.
Yes. I will sometimes look at it.
Which I think is very mean and stupid and unreasonable. Like, I mean, I don't know how many cats there are prompted per minute.
Because reasons.
I don't think
For stupid reasons.
it's not stupid reason. It's
Because
really,
NDA reasons.
yeah. I'll DM you the reason, but
You're for NDA.
it's like it's an actual reasonable reason.
How do you use stylize in 5.2? The same way you use it in every other version, basically.
Well, when I use it, I do use style of 0. But I'm weird that way.
NDA equals not disclose amount of cats in this case? Yes. Remember, not all of the images made are in public.
This is true.
So even if you see things on the server, you can't see everything. Like, none of you guys can see all 200 newbies channels. And if you could, it would be overwhelming.
Yeah, there was that. I want to see the dogs.
Oh, on the cats per minute graph we have, there is dogs. I can't say that much. I can't share it, but I can say that that comparison is there on that graph.
That is awesome. That's all I need to know.
there also on that graph birds? No, it is just dogs and cats. In general, there are a lot more cat prompters than dog prompters. Unicorns per month, sloths per month. We need details.
Unicorns per month? That's like, what, millicorn per month?
I mean, that number would mostly be her, yeah.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Dog prompters prompt breeds. Good point.
This is true. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to get random stuff.
I guess that means that general dog prompting means you're getting a mutt, which isn't a bad thing.
You don't
Just show the graph without the numbers. I am not allowed to do that. Are we still revising gallery and image ranking, etc.? Yeah, it's being worked on. It's something you will probably see when the site is updated to the new version. It's not going to be a slow release or anything like that. DeVitos per month? I can only imagine. How many women per minute? Oh god, I don't want to know. I shared as much as I can. Some people have said things in chat you can probably glean a bit from. Cat boys per day. I have looked at a graph for that, but it's mostly because I use that as my base search for when I'm trying to find a specific prompt for various things in the database. And usually the most recent one is me. Gargoyles daily. I'd imagine that's comparatively low. How often is man prompted compared to woman? Good question. I don't know the answer. All of these stats that people want, I really can't tell you guys, so... Next topic. Never been able to fully load your Explorer/Follows link. Just my internet connection. The site is weird about those things. New version, when it's released, should be much better.
Are my other stats you are allowed to share?
There might be, but none that I'm aware of offhand.
Hold on, I got one. Hold on. I got it. No, go away. Okay. This is happening. Just give me a second. All right. There are 14,733,873 members currently on the Midjourney server. You're welcome. Mic drop.
Yes, public stats are shareable.
You're welcome. Did I scare you?
I was just wondering what you were going to do.
Have I seen an image that has given me deep, or have you seen an image that has given you deep insight into life only AI might have been able to produce? No, not necessarily. Well,
That's not what you mean by that, really.
well, last year my coworker died, and that was really upsetting. Like we knew it was going to happen pretty much. Like she had this terrible, awful form of brain cancer, and it was just a steady decline. We all it was not the kind that you recover from, and I went to her funeral. I was not expecting to see her there, so it's not like a service or anything like that, but when it happened, like I just put all of my feelings and sadness into Midjourney, and it was just me rambling about cancer sucking. And I mean, I didn't know her. I knew her. Like, we would send each other TikToks. She was a sweetheart. Her name was Anastasia, and actually there were a lot of people in the political world that were very upset about it. She was like known within those circles, and please look it up. It was I put in this like just me rambling or a little bit, like just the sadness, like screw cancer essentially. And here it is. The prompt was, cancer is horrible and terrible. It takes the best piece. Anastasia, you're such a bright light in a dark world. I feel like I shouldn't be this sad because I knew you less than so many others, but you still had such a huge impact on me. Thank you for being you, for making me feel so seen, for being a friend. I'm going to miss you so much. Liberty Green. The Liberty Green was because she was a big Elizabeth Warren supporter, and so that was like her kind of her thing. And I get an error right now. Okay, here we go. And so she'd always like heart things with a mint green heart. And I wanted to make it that color, and Midjourney did not make it that color, but it did give me this from that prompt. And I was like, this is back in like V3 era, right? Literally last year. And I was like, I don't know, like that had an impact on me, 'cause, like, based off of the prompt, I wouldn't. It almost felt a little spiritual, you know what I mean? Where it was like literally just a girl in the clouds, like in the sky, looking happy, and like a heart. Oh no, I'm gonna cry if I think about this too much harder. But
Okay, to some other questions then, if you want.
yeah, sorry.
I can share the one image that blew my mind.
How much caffeine versus smoothies are consumed by the dev team the average week? Caffeine is definitely higher. Has the amount of images you see per day altered how you perceive images? Yes.
No. Because I was already in the world of looking at a ton of
Fair enough, but for me, it's more like meta level of it with like data set and such, how things are interpreted by the bot. I perceive them that way.
I can kind of see that. I guess, like, for me, like, I know people give shit to Pinterest, but, like, I love Pinterest because I've, like, curated the algorithm to be, like, just a bunch of art and weird stuff that I like.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, art side of Pinterest is just, oh, I love it.
Yes.
But, like, I'd already spent, like, years before Midjourney just, like, looking at so many images at a time that I'd get tired of looking at things. And so Midjourney, I think the difference with Midjourney is, like, on Pinterest, there's, like, way more stuff that I like. Versus on Midjourney, there's a lot more noise. And so it was almost like a little bit less overwhelming in that sense, because it wasn't like it's not like the constant simulation of like, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God. Not that Midjourney doesn't make amazing stuff, but it's just like my personal taste, you know?
How often, if ever, do you either see or personally get images from Midjourney that you would buy on a shirt with no, like the image that Verb?
Oh, all the time. Well, all the time for me. There's a lot of stuff that I generate that would be great on the wall or on a shirt or whatever.
Yeah, like on a wall, a lot. On a shirt, not so much, but I'm just mostly not a graphic clothing person. But like when I'm doing fashion design prompts, fairly often. a question of if it would actually fit me. We give up the sketch to image lab work, or is it still being considered? No comment. Mostly because I don't know the specifics on that at the moment. As a mod, I've seen things that scarred me for life. Have you seen any Midjourney images that did that to you? No. I was pretty preemptively desensitized by being on 4chan in early life.
Same,
So-
but it has made me spiral a little bit. I think it just took a lot of like my previous disappointments and like certain things and just like amplified it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And I
think
would-
the impact
It's
is
just like
also
faces of death and whatnot. So that was before the internet. So
I won't talk about the really, really bad stuff, but I will say that my interest in anything, this is going to be controversial. I don't care. Anything that like a man, especially a straight man, makes that has to do anything of like female sexuality, I don't care. Like, I don't like. I aggressively like don't care. Like, I'm just so.
I can confirm how aggressively it is after being at the museum.
We got to the Andy Warhol section. I already do not like Andy Warhol, and yes, I realize that's also controversial. I just don't care. I do not like Andy Warhol, and
yeah, he's a hack in my opinion.
yeah, I don't know if I don't like him not because he's a hack. I like him. I dislike him for other reasons, but I just like and this is where I'll separate myself professionally from like my personal stuff, So it's not that you can't make pictures of pretty women. I just get it out of my face, dude. And it's so frustrating, I think, like from my perspective. It's just like, here is a tool that you can make anything. Like you can make anything, and like we're bringing art to the masses. Like it's like this whole like, philosophy and like this whole, like cool amazing new movement and like, oh wow, people are discovering the magic of like creating, wow. And then you see like somebody who just has like 20K pictures of like, pretty woman, and it's just like this existential disappointment, because it's like, here is a way where we don't have to like be in the real world, I guess. And then it's like a reminder, of like what society is like. So it's a very personal thing. Like it's not necessarily how I will,
But back on
Whatever
the
would-
notes of those types of images, I'd say that what I've really learned from it is how uncreative the people going for that kind of stuff are. It's always the same.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think that's a whole thing, because like a lot of, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about like being an artist and like technical skill. Like there's a lot of artists who do not have any technical skill, but who have like a fantastic visual literacy. And that's like it's a soft skill, because it's something that you have to, or what they say, the taste, right? Everybody thinks they have the best taste in things. And like, as you should, like, I hope you think you have the best taste in things, but also like people get pretty upset and they think it's very pretentious, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not very pretentious, because there's an actual skill. Like you build a library, right, of like artists and movements and knowledge and like all of these like things, and that's real. Like, for example, you might be familiar with like that very specific style that is like associated with like corporations and like banks now. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the corporate illustration style of like the
Corporate
people.
Memphis.
Yeah, corporate Memphis is what it was dubbed. But like a designer, like a good designer, might be able to look at that and be like, oh, that was a style that they made by Buck Studio, who named it Allegria. I think it was like, it meant joy or something like that. for Facebook specifically, and the goal of that style was so that it could be replicable by other artists and illustrators, right? And then everybody kind of copied that, and now it's corporate Memphis and everybody's sick and tired of it. But like, I know all of this, so I can tell you that like, don't do that style because you're unoriginal, right? But like, that can only come because I'm paying attention and like learning about this stuff and looking at stuff, and I've like built up this repertoire of like things to know, you know? So I think it's really interesting how people's how people's like real life like of artists like real life styles, like if you look at like their body of work and then you look at what they make in Midjourney, how that will reflect that, both like similarities and differences. Because like if you look at, like, for example, me, like I draw a lot of people, but like when I first got to Midjourney, I could not stop doing like fantasy landscapes and like architecture and houses and stuff, because I was like, I'm finally enabled to like do something I couldn't do before. You know what I mean? I'm rambling, but
I wanted to give a reply to the question if there was anything like that scarred you as being a mod. The internet already pretty much desensitized me, but what ended up really shocking me was the sheer volume of people, and that is met by the volume of images they make that are disturbing in whatever category it is that they're making disturbing things in.
Yeah, some people just focus so heavily on one thing.
That got me in the beginning. I'm like, how can you do this non-stop for days? How? And that was
but
it.
there's not even any curiosity to make something, different.
No, it's just the same thing over and over and over and over. The same disturbed thing.
Right. Let's see if this is still true. Yep. And this is nothing against SD. We're friendly, it's fine. But if you go to Twitter and just look up Stable Diffusion tag, like you'll kind of just get an idea of like,
Yeah.
do not want to go down that road. Do not post it here, but like kind of, like it's just if you just see, and now like look at that and like imagine you just see thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of that, right? And that's really disheartening in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Actually, just talking to one of them the other day, that even the SD people are so disappointed that that's what they've become known for.
Yeah. I can imagine I'd be pretty upset too. And that's what a lot of the say too. They're like, they want to, if they're going to be spending time making something, they want to make something that they can be proud of, they can show their mom, and not
It's just low tier stuff.
right.
Low effort, low tier, eye rolling nonsense.
Cherry Blossom asks, vaguely related to Cat's permanent thing, but hopefully a thing we were able to share. Can we confirm if more human women are generated than cats? Yes, by far, no question. Don't even have to look at that.
You to know, yeah. Unfortunate, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I think people sometimes think I'm some sort of prude or something, and that's definitely not the case. But, it's...
Yeah, like, we've accidentally made some amazing stuff that's technically over the line that we wish we could. It's artistically really good.
Yeah, and there are definitely things, like we share things sometimes, like, oh my god, like this seems like really artistic. Like there is one that Ahmad, I remember, because we already had all these conversations, then we like had a newer moderator, and
he wasn't there for those conversations. So, just having it again where he sent me, well, he was like, oh man, like, I'm going to moderate the don't want to, because like this really just seems like a really introspective, like it seems like very obvious that like this is made by a woman who's like, prompting about her own body and like making like real art. And I'm like, yeah, I 100% agree with you, but it's just, if we don't moderate it all the same, like then now we have to like make clear guidelines for like, oh, here's the line between like being horny and like art, and like that's impossible. That's just impossible. Like we can't be the ones to decide that, so we just have to say don't do that at all.
Need a -- cat setting. Maybe eventually.
That would be.
I also say
Wait, -- cat.
it's obvious when somebody's like, I think it's usually pretty obvious when somebody's like trying really hard to like
Yeah.
right on the edge, and they're like, and like it's pretty obvious when it like you can kind of tell like when it feels bad and like when they're doing it for like maybe not so great reasons versus like somebody who's like actually just exploring. Like he starts to see
People tend to get a bit obsessive.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
And it's weird to see that.
Like when you're rolling the same image 100 times.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Also, people try to like delete it so they think that we won't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can tell the difference between when you're just like deleting stuff and like you're just deleting to hide it. We can see that.
That's your PSA for the day.
All right. It seems like things are slowing down a bit, and we've been going for 3.5 hours.
Anything?
I'm going to drop. If you guys want to keep going, go for it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, now that AC is gone, let's all talk shit. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
You're the worst.
Cat boy this, cat boy that. Oh my god.
Bye, -- cat.
AC is a big boo, but I don't know. All right, are we all leaving? I think.
Why?
You're saying you need to stay.
I'm sitting right here.
How's the storm going over there, Circuit?
It's just raining right now. It's quiet. Nothing on the radar. I mean, nothing outside my window. Down for a bit.
That's good.
Radar and see what's up.
That is good.
It's, well, we're still in the outer band, but it doesn't seem like it's too bad. So,
I hope it stays calm. And also for anyone else that's in chat that's in the Florida, Georgia region.
yeah, but everybody's is safe, like I am.
Yeah, nah, bruh. Yeah. Trying to make Fio laugh.
There's still 159 people. This is awesome.
I agree, Bob. And when did we last do this? Like the last time we did this seems like forever ago. And it was also so much fun when we did it. we should do this more often. And I know we talked about doing like a mods office hours. I also think that is still a very good idea.
Yeah.
But the mods are, devs office hours. But the devs are always so busy.
That they are.
Yep.
And it's
Pretty sad. Yes. Especially for people in chat that are like that know a bit about the inner workings of how things work, that always come up with those really techy questions. What did you submit, Christina? A Facebook mod application? Do we have a Facebook mod application up, Knuckles?
Any team building in that.
Yeah, that's why I asked her.
Generally, we do have a place where we can just talk random about stuff. Usually just call it a team building. And we have done the Discord has those games that you can play.
The Gardic phone thing. That was absolutely hilarious. I have I have a few of them saved actually. Let me see if I can share one that did not go. Probably not if I have them saved.
See it.
They
Anybody have any questions? I'm just waiting for something to 3D print on my printer, so I'm just chilling.
haven't done.
What type of bucket list? I got different ones. Thing in general, or well, you can't talk. It's only those who must that can actually talk. So if you have a question, you can just type it in here.
You have no power here, Kendall.
I just want to have a nice life. That's my bucket list.
That is very much a David thing. Not everyone possesses the ability to take any question and turn it into the most interesting thing. Like, David has a magical mind, in my opinion. And the ability to do that seems to come like effortlessly to him. I don't know how he does that.
So Party Products, basically every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, David, the the main honcho of Midjourney, will talk about what's happening, what's coming up, and then takes questions from people that they're invited on the stage. But unfortunately, David wasn't able to be here, so we turned it into a non-office hours where the moderators and guides can talk about anything and everything and have people ask questions. And we get to share our side of what we do and so forth. And that's basically it.
I'm hungry.
Same.
You didn't hear it. My stomach rumbled right after I said that.
I didn't hear anything. I thought it was stronger outside.
That's what I said, that you didn't hear it. So
Yeah, I didn't
thanks
hear
for agreeing with me.
it. Of course, anytime. I always agree with you, right?
Yeah, you guys never fight or anything.
No.
No, you're the bestest of friends.
We actually are. We actually are good friends. That's our bit, or that's Circuit's bit.
It is my bit.
Circuit bullies me, and then everybody else is like, "Are you guys okay?" And we're like, "Nah, we're just joking."
And then,
Yeah.
then we get to go, Mom and Dad are fighting again. Stop it.
What are you doing, AC? You literally left, and now you're still here. Get out.
So John Bones,
Go to bed,
Uh,
AC.
to see your Nietzschean images, you can go to midjourney.com. You can sign in here and you can see your gallery for your Nietzsche stuff, but you can also filter it and click MJ for just Midjourney. So you can go there. And that's if you use the Nietzsche pod. So if you do Nietzsche images, they're there. But you can see your Midjourney stuff there too now, apparently. Good seeing you, Tamar. I'll definitely hear from you sometime during prompt battles, I'm sure.
All right, I'm also gonna go.
Toodles.
Bye. Bye.
Love you. Mean it.
Oh, she didn't say bye.
The Arty products, basically, there's a whole technical thing that explains how images like these are made. There's a wonderful video in somewhat how it's done. If I can remember what it is, I could send you a link. Well, actually, it's a computer file. He does a pretty cool way of explaining how it's. Of course, this is about the Stable Diffusion Dolly, but relatively the same thing. I don't know how Midjourney does their stuff, but this will give you an idea. Pretty cool.
Bob, I just saw your DM. I'm too late now.
Sometimes if you get images with words, it could be what your prompt has that might be inserting those words or weird letters and so forth. Usually if you add like no and put words, letters, symbols, yada yada, that sometimes will help clear it up. But if you have other questions like that, Party Products, I'm going to reply to your message, and once you head over to prompt chat, because there's a lot of people that love to help each other out. And sometimes I'm actually in there too, so if you're in there, say hey to me. I like to visit there just to keep my skills honed.
For some reason, you're giving me very Bob Ross vibes right now. I don't know why.
Who's giving Bob Ross vibes?
You, when you're talking.
Oh.
But in like a very, very, very positive
Oh, I mean, I'll take anything you say about me positive, even if it does sound bad. You're still talking about me, so that's good enough for me. Good to hear from you too. North Colors, thanks for stopping by. All right, here we go. I got a guy that sent me a DM. I might as well answer this question. I'm wanting to know a good app I can use for comparing images side by side, like B4 versus 5.2 with the same prompt feed.
He sent me the same one, and I honestly, I just clicked ignore.
Well, I'm going to put on my ice hat, go. I do not know the answer to that question.
I don't know.
But you can probably try, like, I don't know, try this. Let's see what this does.
Yeah, sometimes Midjourney just thinks that the watermarks belong on images. Why Midjourney recreates watermarks on images, but it does not mean that you're recreating anything that is watermarked per se.
So there's a website you can go to. It's called, well, I'll just put the link in. Basically, you put the two images in, and you can click on that and click on difference, and then you can see what the two images differences are. Probably similar to loading up Photoshop, putting both images in a layer and doing a difference on one of them. But it's a website. It's free. Have fun.
We have a great question in chat. It's hello all mods. Thank you all for your support on Discord. Much appreciated. I'm curious, what is the most fun aspect of being a moderator on Midjourney that's definitely banning people? What feature do you use the most on Midjourney and why? The user lookup tool. What do you do outside of Midjourney? There is no life outside of Midjourney. Thank you very much.
Well, being the Naismith that I am, I'll disagree. Let's see. I am a parent of 3 girls. 2 of them are twins. I'm a software developer. I'm a musician. I can do 3D modeling, but only hard metal. I can't do sculpting. I like to consider myself a jack of all trades, master of none, basically. And I don't like not knowing about something, so I will teach myself how to do it, like auto repair. If I can do it myself, I'll do it. Music, a whole gamut of stuff. It can be anything from prog rock to noise, experimental, hip hop, everything. I have a bad thing about music. I can get into large tangents, and this is where my ADHD kicks in, and I'll hyper focus and start talking about music. But I listen to a lot of rare esoteric stuff, popular stuff. One of my guilty pleasures is ABBA, and the other one is an older techno group called Dune. I believe they're a German band. Yeah, once I start talking about music, I won't shut up, so I will try not to talk too much about it.
You mean Dune from Hardcore Vibes?
Yeah.
Hey, nice. That's a classic.
As a jack of all trades, how do you find a specific way to career, make money, blah, blah? Well, for my main profession, I went to college and got a computer science degree, and I basically were a developer and did all that stuff. And then I decided, once in a while I'll ask, what can I do to make extra money? So I learned how to do circuit bending. So I would take speaking spells. This was like way before everybody else did it. So I was doing it and making crazy money on eBay. And then I realized that once the market got saturated, I went into learning how to make my own circuits. So I started building my own effects pedals and synthesizers and so forth. Ooh, Front 242 is awesome. KMFDM, I like Joint Jezebel. I don't know what it is. It's like my feel-good song. Best ABBA album? I don't think there is a best one. I think they all are amazing. And Wax Trax was an amazing record label. See, you guys get me in music, you gotta stop. But it's all good. Let's see. Let's see any other question. What about other German tech? Geez, I gotta be Oh, you know what? You know which one I like? Wait, obviously there's Crossbook or Craft Work. X marks the pedwalk. I don't know if you remember them. And then what's that one that's fairly recent? Uh, oh my God, what is her name? Drawing a blank.
Electric Callboy is great. Do you know Electric Callboy?
Yes. I don't know how to pronounce them. Dikine or Deichkind. I like their song Richtig Gutes Zug, which is hilarious. I'll link that in the chat just to show you guys. I think they're pretty awesome. Very different.
That's interesting right there.
Yeah.
That's something.
But yeah, I even like listening to music that I don't even understand what they're saying. To like K-pop, to there's a Polish black metal band that I really like. The Melvins, or I've actually seen the Melvins once, and they're actually coming to where I live next month, and I'm trying to decide if I want to see them because they're actually touring with a Japanese stoner rock band called Boris, which are absolutely amazing. So I'm trying to decide if I want to see that. But I saw Melvins with Folk Implosion of all bands. I don't know if you know Folk Implosion. They did the soundtrack to that movie Kids. It's got Lou Barlow from Sebadoh, Centrito, and Dinosaur Jr. But here I go again talking about me.
I think music is a very good topic to talk about.
Yes. What about Front 242 covers? I mean, they're all pretty cool.
Did you know that you can make very cool album covers with Midjourney if you like put in a subject and then just ask for it as an album cover? You get a very cool looking images. That is something you should all try to do.
So Tara turned out when you did your own dance diffusion model. Oh, you got a link? Did I miss it? Oh, cool. I will check this out later. Thank you for sharing. I'll smash that subscribe button.
Yes, it's very different from being a guide moderator. You have to get paid. Mods and guides do not handle outside of member support billing issues, in which they will pass along to us because we're like in the system to fix people's billing issues, and that is what we do. We do billing magic.
That's pretty cool. Total Psycho. I've done actually 2 album covers for somebody near and dear to me, but I definitely don't do it as a job, but that's pretty cool that you can do that. Hat tip to you. And yeah, billing support's definitely different, but it's fun. So it's always
The only thing, pretty much the only thing that's similar between modding and billing is banning people, which is great.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Fallon Ray art. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I could find the one that I did. Um, Give me a second. See if this. Actually, what I'll do is I will share one of the ones, but not the one that was picked, just to give an idea of the vibe that I was.
Also, asking for an album cover with initials also brings out very interesting result.
Quad from when I was working on it. This is like July of last year.
I agree. It's almost like
Yeah, very V3 for sure. Yeah, I mean, I exactly. AI would not replace designers. I think it's just another tool in the arsenal. And if you don't subscribe to that thinking, then you're just stunting yourself. Because there's just some things that can be done with whatever tool, AI image tool you use, be it Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, whatever. I think you're just limiting yourself. That's like refusing to use colored pencils and only use crayons as the means of your art. True. Very true.
there was a time where people were against photo cameras because it would put all the painters out of work. Like, we all adapt and evolve. That's basically what our entire history is about, adapting and evolving.
That's very true, AJ.
You're welcome. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. You should try emoji prompting with an album cover. Just put in some random emojis and then
Oh, go ahead. It's just my OCD's kicking in. I'm about to share something.
just put in some random emojis and as an album cover or a comma album cover. That's also fun.
Music related. This is my favorite music related prompt. All I did was prompt this, and this was one of the results.
That's
Who would
great.
actually enjoy that? Shit.
Did you see your ping just now, Circle?
But nailed it.
Uh-oh.
Uh, what the? Oh God, yeah. All right. Well, you should have said